Mo, where you at? I can't see you. No, you weren't. You weren't on the right one. I'll do it again. I'll do another one. I didn't see you. All right, good people, good people, good people, good people. Come on in and sit down. Come on in and sit down, have a seat, because we're going to get started with today's conversation. I want to actually, before we get started, Owen made an announcement that there is a new show that is basically using some of the ladies from Ready to Love. Some of the ladies from Ready to Love have come together, and Owen is hosting a new show, kind of like Ready to Love All Stars. It's going to be interesting. I'm going to play this clip just to start tonight's conversation off. If you guys are just jumping on, you know that we are talking with Chris. Chris is come back to kind of share his perspective on the things that took place. We had a conversation last night with Jessica. And as you all know, I always am down to allow people to speak up for themselves. And so I talked to Chris, and he wanted to come on and basically share his side. After seeing what happened on the show on Friday, I definitely wanted to talk to him anyway, because after my first interview with him, I was so impressed, and I thought he was I love what he had to say. I was surprised to see what we all saw. So I want to play this clip from the new show, and then we're going to bring Chris on and get into this conversation. So check out the new Ready to Love All Stars that Ready to Love is going to roll out after this season of Ready to Love Dallas.
You're here in New Orleans to find a man, to see if you're ready to make a move.
Cheers to this. We all deserve the best.
All right, ladies, do you want to know who I have matched you with?
Oh, wow.
Be careful, these sidewalks are kind of dangerous and tricky.
Oh. What else do I need to know about you?
I have 17 cats.
17? Are you joking?
Yeah. So it's simple. Keep the man that you can build a relationship with and let go of that weaker connection. And as always, all of the men are fair game.
I heard you went on a date with Zadia.
But you were better.
Oh.
I'm right here.
Okay. You are a priority, but my options are still open.
Okay, I want to hear how things are going on in the house.
I have rules.
Like what?
Like, no guys in the house.
Did something happen? I felt betrayed. You clearly do not care for anybody else to have their own story.
Are you telling me what I care about? I'm in a space where I'm uncomfortable. I done left my safe space to come here. Don't with me. Where the party at? Did you see me living here?
People do anything for love, so.
It's time to let them know once and for all. Are you moving here to New Orleans?
Oh, she's not moving. Basically calling me mad, super aggressive. What the? Like, this too hard. If you're looking for love, I just want you to understand the things that are important to me. It's just a big decision. Gotta find a way trying to taste their life. Is this connection going to see more New Orleans, or you just gonna nip it in the bud now? I'm just not sure about this.
I'm gonna do whatever it takes.
Hopefully you might not want to go back to Miami.
It's okay.
All right. That's interesting. That is very interesting. But I thought I would play that before tonight's conversation. First, I want to bring up my boy, Scorpio Moe. Hey.
What's happening?
Yeah, you are back. You're back. You're back. And I think tonight's conversation. Yes, you're back. First of all, you were lots of the ladies in the chat asked that I bring my friend Mo back. And I thought I wanted to have him on because he and I recapped the episode, right? Last Friday's episode where we saw Chris being eliminated, and we talked about it. We talked about what happened. And so I wanted to, when I knew that Chris would be here, I wanted to have a guy's perspective to be able to talk about it. I did send him Jessica's interview so he could hear that, and also be able to kind of give some good commentary. So without further ado, I want to bring the man of the hour up, and yeah, we'll definitely get to the date recap with Mo. But let's go ahead and bring Chris on. Chris, welcome back. Welcome back, Chris.
What's going on, family? How y'all doing? What's up, Mo?
What's up, Chris? How you, brother?
I'm doing great, man. I'm excited to be here, man. I know we're gonna get into it, but first and foremost,
Okay.
I do want to apologize for the verbiage I used with that young lady. I have apologized to her multiple times, even on that same day and also at the reunion. And so we'll get more into it later, but I just want to start off that way because that's what's most important to me.
Yeah, that's what, and I'm gonna say, like, you know, that was the one thing. I'm like, I know that, you know, I was talking. I just had a conversation with with Nate, and he's a relationship guy on social media. And we were just saying, like, this, it's not right for either side, right? It's not right for men to talk disrespectfully to women, and it's not right for women to speak disrespectfully to men. I do think that we go harder on men when they do it than women. But I also feel like because men are, in my opinion, men are the head of the household, and with great responsibility comes, with great leadership comes great responsibility. So if you want to be seen as the head, then you have to, present yourself as the head. So I'll start with you, Mo. What do you think about that? Do you think that men should be held to a higher standard?
I think it's tough. If it was man to man, would we be saying it? You know what I mean? But man to woman, we kind of have to tone ourselves down and kind of, speak in a way where I guess they're not intimidated, I guess. Or and even so being respectful, you know what I'm saying, but still getting your point across. And I think that's a balance, and I think that's something that men have to arrive at. We don't always get there at the same time, especially if we haven't grown up with sisters, or I know your mother tells you one thing or your parents tell you one thing, but when you actually experience it and the emotions are happening in real time, sometimes,
Yeah.
Yeah, facts.
Let me ask you, Chris. So Mo Gun Boss said, or Adrian said, you represent for us. So make sure that you keep it straight. Mo, can you wipe your screen? I feel like your screen is a little fuzzy. Just wipe it like with something, because your screen is not your hand.
Oh, okay. Okay, hold on.
Somebody asked who was Mo. Mo is one of my best friends that agreed to come on. He actually came on Friday with me and was my male co-host for our Ready to Love conversation. And so we talked about this situation with Chris.
Better? No.
That's better. That's better. So now we lost Chris. But so when he jumps back on, there we go. All right. We got Chris back. I was like, oh, all right. So
I'm trying to get the chat to work just in case somebody has something, but I can't see it. So if y'all see something want me to address, then I address. I'm here to address everything, any and everything.
You guys hear that? So Chris said he is here to address everything. So that means every comment, every question.
If it makes sense, if it's something that just completely,
I got you.
atrocious,
I'm not gonna do that. I got you.
Because I can't see the chat right now at all.
I got you. So any questions for Chris? Once we get into it, let us get into it, and then I'll take questions for Chris. So I had a conversation with Jessica yesterday, Chris, and after watching the reunion, it was just so many questions that I had, because initially I remember, I've been doing recaps every week on the show, and it was so clear to myself and to most people that watch. I talked about it with my chat every Friday night, and then with some other alumni from the show. I remember at that hoedown, right? And Jessica was like, I'm going to get him and make sure all the ladies know this is mine right here. You guys were, you were arm in arm. And it was clear that she was kind of like staking her claim, right?
Yeah.
And so I asked her, how did you guys go from that to it being consistently you guys consistently bumping heads and getting to that space.
Yeah.
So can you kind of give us, because Jessica didn't really give us details. She said that she did go detail in her podcast. So
so she didn't just shoot it straight.
She did not give. She said that there was point by point on her podcast that she.
Okay. So you gotta go to a podcast.
So yeah. So I would love to hear from your perspective what happened that we did not see, because from what we saw, it just doesn't make sense that you would go from being hugged up, and then you did say at least twice, I'm not getting a nurturing side from you, but that still doesn't explain how we ended up to F you. And I told it sounded like the Tupac diss.
hey, stop playing with it, because I love Pac. And that's one of my
It was like every chick in the click you claim.
Yeah.
I was like, yo.
First off, hey Chris, you better have me acting up tonight, but I'm gonna keep it real. But you,
all right. So take us back to the hold down.
Where's my mic? I'm gonna tell Alexa play Pac. Well, all right.
Right.
So I mean, Jessica is correct. When we first got there, she was the first person I saw at the mixer.
Yes.
I really liked her dress, and she looked nice. I think she was attractive. And those are just the first thing, because the first thing you see is the physical thing. Right. And I kid you not, every single woman on our cast is beautiful to me. Yes. They're gorgeous, so you can't lose. So she was the first person. Showed that initial attention. We talked a lot, and so it was great. I was like, okay, cool. Let me dig a little bit deeper. And for everybody, we're talking to people that we traditionally wouldn't talk to in a normal setting, right? So, which is cool, because it allows you to dig a lot deeper, because I feel physical is less than 10%, but it's the very first attraction. Once you find out about a person, the physical doesn't even matter at that point, right? The aesthetics doesn't even matter. Once you find out, then it's like, okay, I'm gonna continue this journey to get to know this person. And if it's something other than what you expect, you're gonna retreat, right? So, and I don't want to go, because I know we got a lot to talk about, because I keep going, because I got a lot of.
No, we want to know everything. And, I talked to Jessica for 2 hours yesterday, and we want to know everything. So I feel like people are invested in this.
Yeah.
And like you said earlier, when you and I were talking back and forth on IG, I think this conversation is bigger than just you and Jessica. I think that there are some issues with community, because and that's why I asked Mo to be a part of this, because he and I have had this conversation about how does it end like this with men and women. So I want us to really be transparent about how do we get from and I also think a lot of women feel like as long as I'm attractive and successful,
bingo. And
that's the biggest thing a lot of times.
Yeah, man. Yeah, and I would say guys like us are most decent guys, right? That's all a lot of women see, right? And then once they talk to a guy like us, and they're like, oh, he's more than just a pretty face or a muscle or this and that. Once you dig a lot deeper. Because it's like, don't get, we always say in our fraternity, don't get fooled by the pretty face. Don't let the pretty face fool you. You know what I'm saying? Because it's more, it's deep, it's levels to this. This is just the introduction. Right. So now let's open up the chapters of this book, and let's see what this book is talking about. So to get back on track with Jessica, we hit it off. She was like my very first connection. And it took a turn when it came to my office. That's when it really took a turn. There was some things in between. We might have saw on both sides, inconsistencies, but at my office, that's when it took a turn. And on the X date, that's when it was solidified. I want to say, Tommy asked me about the connection. I said it's been disintegrated, and that was early on.
So what happened at the office?
Yeah.
All right. So, so at the office, she came there. My construction team was there, the cast and everything. So this was during the recording where her and I, that was our very first, and I'm gonna use this dangerous word, combative moment.
Okay.
And
that's the buzzword.
That's the buzzword. I've never heard.
Every time y'all hear the word combative used tonight, take a sip. Okay.
Take a sip.
There you go.
I'm gonna take me.
Man, y'all about to.
Thank you, Mo. It's unity.
Yeah, take a sip.
Being as one.
Exactly.
That's unity. So we was having a discussion, and she didn't like the word I said. I think I said you're a strong black woman, and I like that. She paused, stopped everybody, like, no, you cannot say that. And the camera and the production was like, he can say what he want to say, and I'm like, well, you a very strong black woman. Let's get to it. And the thing, when I did that, she actually, it aroused her. Like, I almost called my construction team to bring one of the wet floor signs because she was really turned on, you know. And my thing is like, that's not what I want to come home to every day. You know, I have to talk to my woman like that to get an arouse out of her, to make her smile. Because that was the first time I seen her smile that day. I don't even know, you know. So that's when I said,
clear that, because we got questions.
Go ahead. What's the question?
She said because Jessica said when you mentioned that you're a strong black woman, she did not like that.
Yeah, she didn't.
What did you feel like? What did you say to her that made her? Because I'm assuming that you checked her and that she liked it.
Yeah, and then she got hot and bothered.
Okay, how do you know she was hot and bothered, Chris?
Yeah, well, you can look at a woman's face and be like, when you get like,
no, yeah. We can fake it better than any.
Oh, well, she faked it good. I'm okay with that. As long as I'm enjoying myself, you can fake it all day long. So,
okay, so what did you say to her that kind of let her know that
okay, we good.
Yeah.
Yeah. So with that, that's when I led on to I want a softer woman. That's when I said what I said. Hey, talk to me softly because that's how I'm gonna handle you. You know, and as black men, I'm gonna say black men, no other man right now. We're gonna talk about us. You know, walking outside our house, we don't know if we're gonna come home, and that's every single day. You know what I'm saying? So when I get out there battling, I'm not trying to battle in my household. You know, and that was the beginning of me repeatedly saying that, like, hey, my woman got to be my safe zone. They got to be my comfort zone, and vice versa. You know what I'm saying? And that's just part of my culture, and that's part of I would say a good man, a good black man. That ain't even a culture thing. You know, I would say if a man wants peace, you're gonna want that in your household. That's your sanctuary. You know.
Yeah. And then, but Chris, let me ask you this: was this a one-time thing, or this was something that was happening continuously?
Continuously. You know, if something happened one time, you know, we're gonna give it a pass. But if it's a redundant thing,
right. That's why I was asking.
Like, yeah, it's like, okay, all right. I don't know, you know, and at our age, it's hard for someone to adjust if they've been a certain way for a long period of time, unless that's an individual that seeks understanding, you know, because I don't get mad and when people say all these negative things about me, because I feel that they don't have an understanding of me, you know, and the people that speak good, you know, okay, they either like me and just blind to it, or they understand me. Those two scenarios, you know, even in the midst of all this, I even had someone reach out to her like, hey, Jessica, if you want to talk about this, if you want to get public with it and find out and go dig deeper, I'm okay with that. And she declined. So if I had ill will towards her, why would I reach out, you know, olive branch to her on that part, you know, because two things can be right at the same time. We both was wrong throughout this process, you know, and there was times that we both was right.
Yeah.
You know, so that's where it started. That was the nucleus of it.
Okay. Now she said that she brought you food, and she made it clear that that's not something that she does all the time. But she also said that you were not consistent. And one of the things I did get about Jessica is that she doesn't seem like she's fake, right? She seemed like she's very much like what you see is what you get. And she said, you know, he was not reaching out to me. He was not pursuing me. And so she said she didn't, that's not usually her way of handling, you know, getting to know a man as being the more aggressive one. But she said when you brought out that she was not, you know, she was not calling you and you weren't calling her, she decided to try a little bit more. So were you guys connecting off camera at all? Like, what was that like?
In the beginning, I would say, yeah, it's more that discovery phase, right? When you're just asking these questions, and I think everybody went through that discovery phase. As you progress, then, like I just said earlier, once I see a common trait, all right, let me go ahead and address it, right? And then let me understand where is the root of all of that? Where do you get this from? And those are questions I've had, and conversations I had on the phone. Like, what makes you feel so defensive? Is it work? Is it, you know? And I understand the position she has or what she tells me. She's a woman of an authority. She's an authoritative figure in her company. So I understand that and I respect that. And I'm gonna get to my 3 connections because those women are CEOs of their companies too, but it's a different mentality. You know what I'm saying? And we'll get to that when we talk about leadership and women roles and all the other stuff too, because I'm gonna elaborate, because that's 3 strong individual, 3 examples of a strong Black woman that knows how to be soft and knows how to make a man feel comfortable, with anybody comfortable, not just a man, but just anybody comfortable, you know? So I would say that that's why things started going the way that it went, because I saw a pattern that was distasteful to me. Because right now we all talk about our energy and good vibes, good energy, control it, like our peace. Yes, that's a real thing. We all want to control. And so if I'm with someone or I'm in an environment that's not peaceful to me, to my spirit and my soul, I have to remove myself.
Yeah.
You know, hence what happened at the end, which we'll get to that.
Yeah.
No.
It's funny because on this show, I feel like when you're dating guys, when you're dating people, you guys are dating women. If you're dating a woman, you're in that discovery phase. Let me ask you this, Chris, and Mo as well. If you're dating a woman and you sense that energy that you don't feel is peaceful, right? What would be would you tell her that, or would you just kind of fall back? Because in Ready to Love, people are like, well, that's my connection. But we don't ever allow for, okay, well, what if I liked you at first? But
yes. Mo, I'm letting you
how do you handle that? How do you handle if
it depends on how much I have invested. If I don't have much invested, I just fall back.
Yeah.
No harm, no foul. I didn't really, if I'm not invested, chances are I didn't put all my eggs in one basket, so I fall back. But if I'm invested, I really like her, I start talking to other women, something happened, and I think it's, conversation needs to be had, and we can take it from there.
Yeah. Yeah, I totally agree. It does depend on how much you are invested in that woman. But I am going to always mention why I'm falling back. Just like I said about as far as being a softer woman. You know, my sister's a strong woman. Everybody around me, like if you ain't seen my sister, she probably the strongest woman come on. You know what I'm saying? And I love her dearly. So I know what that looks like. But my sister also is humble enough to understand and listen to her friends, her man, anybody, to seek further self-improvement, So yeah, that's definitely it, on that point.
Yeah. So you did say that to her.
Mm-hmm.
We saw that the date with your ex. Were you still invested in Jessica at the point where you had the date with the ex?
Good question. She wasn't supposed to be on that date. Yeah, she wasn't supposed to be on that date at all. By that time, it was Lee, Kat, and Aries was my top connections. Because I've already mentioned to the producers, like, it's not, and it was actually something with Janelle too over the phone. So both of them, and one of the things I've come to understand, there are certain people that cannot handle rejection because how their ego is set up. So for a man, we've been rejected a lot, so we good at it. But there are some certain women that it's a huge hit to her ego, and it's like, oh man, he did this. Now I got to get my lick back, and I'm gonna do whatever.
It's usually the prettier the woman.
Oh yeah,
it's usually the prettier the woman.
Yeah.
So what you said was something with Janelle. So was Janelle a connection for you?
No, let me tell you why. All right, so the cool part about it, me and Janelle had a phone. Nothing, at this time I don't know this lady like that, know. And she also was like, hey, we haven't really had a chance to talk or whatnot. I was like, well, Janelle, I am talking to Jessica, which is your best friend in real life. So in real life, I don't talk to friends. Yeah. And she further iterated with, with outside of her compliments, because I compliment her also. We both compliment each other because she's an attractive woman. Okay. Just not my cup of tea at all. But she was like, well, we're still in the process. We all agreed to do this. Jessica didn't want to do it initially, but we're gonna do it. I said, well, that's cool. I don't mind us being friends. Janelle is a sweet talker. She's good. She can play a fiddle. I can tell you that. And so that was that. And so that was the first thing with Janelle. And while we on the subject, let me hit the second thing with Janelle where wasn't there. So we also went to the brunch. And at that brunch, when we got done, I mentioned this to Jessica and I also mentioned it to the producers. I said, yeah, we're talking with Janelle. It felt like you know, it was Bible study. We've already talked about the religious aspect. Now I want to get to know her. Turn around, get to the hoedown. Me, Janelle, and Red. Red can attest to this. Janelle said, Chris, I don't know why you talking to me. You said last time we talked felt like Bible study. I said, yes, it did. It felt like Bible study, Sunday school, choir practice, everything that happens on Sunday at church. I said, what are you talking about? She was like, well, this is what I said. I said, well, it was delivered to you incorrectly. I said, we've already crossed that line, checked that box. We both have the same faith. Now let's get to know each other. And she's like, oh, okay. She said, so it was how it was delivered to me. I said, yeah. And then I asked Janelle, I said, so now that you know the message delivered it incorrectly, how do you feel about me now? Well, I kind of still feel slighted how the way. I said, well, hey, that's between you and Jesus. You know, peace be with you. You know, and then Red kind of chuckled and said something else, like, what chapter? Was it Deuteronomy or whatever? You know, but I didn't know Janelle's personality then. Like, those two things were heavy. You know, like, to somebody like that, they got to get their lick back. They got to. You know, and that's where, okay, all right, let's start this campaign. You know, on that end, that was it. After that, me and Janelle really didn't have nothing to talk about other than maybe one more conversation. You know, so nothing against her, but those are the two factual encounters that happened between Janelle and I. And that was just that. And then as far as with the ex date, it was supposed to be Katarina, Lee, and Eric. Yeah. Lee came to the house. We had a date there. It was amazing. My ex loved Aries and Lee. She was like, they are it. She said, Chris, Jessica is not. I said, I already know. I don't know why she was there. Yeah. You know, so she said she was praising them. And like so I heard somebody say something that she said something about combative at the ex date. That did not happen. And I asked Aries, did you hear that? Aries said no. You know, so which I already know who was the mole within the guys, which we'll get to that was going back and delivering the gospel in their words, you know. So that's what
let's stop and talk about the X date, because I remember just from what we saw when Jessica arrived, the energy kind of shifted, right? At least that was said. But then the ex, was she serious when she said that she was just in servitude? What is that?
Me and Aries laughed so hard about that. And so and so one thing Kat told me, I wasn't saying I'm getting on Aries. Kat was like, they wanted to write you in as a controlling Nigerian. It's like they picked the wrong Nigerian because you're far from it. I said, I know. And so Aries was like, she did not like Jessica. She put some extra hot sauce on that chicken, you know. And so no offense to any vegans, but she said she put some serious meat on it. And so so I was like, nah, my ex, phenomenal. You know what I'm saying? She did do all those things, but we was on and off for a long time, and I wasn't pushing the envelope. When my ex said that I wasn't there, I wasn't whatever for her, that was the very first time I heard it on national television. So I'm like, why didn't you say that during a relationship? You know, maybe things would have been different. I don't know. So, and at that moment, instead of me saying something else, I just apologized, because that's her real feelings. Whether she said on a reality show or she said, you know, in my back patio, that's her real feelings. And that wasn't my intention. So I immediately apologized. That was my reaction on that, you know, but she put a little extra on it, you know, but Jessica did, because it was a quiet place, and she did come in, you know, kind of abrupt, you know, and it seemed like they were kind of like going at each other a little bit. Me and Aries kind of was just there, but because they're both very smart individuals. Jessica's smart, my ex is smart. You know what I'm saying?
Do you think that your ex was saying that? Do you think she said she was in servitude and all that to get at Jessica, for Jessica not to like you, or what? What do you think she said that for?
Well, I think she knew she wasn't good for me, you know, and you're going to always protect people you love, you know, and the way you do it is up to you. But she did do a lot of things, you know, she really did. And then she also was telling Aries, there's not one thing that this man wouldn't do for me. If it was 3:00 in the morning and I needed, he would drive to Oklahoma to do whatever, change the flag, just go get a cup of coffee or whatever. And that's the type of man I am. So she said all that to Aries when, the other girl, when Jessica, excuse me, I didn't even say other girl, I couldn't think of her name. When Jessica came, it was totally different. Like, nah, it's almost like she didn't deserve to be with a man like this, you know, in a sense.
So Jessica said she did not come in loud. Was she loud? What? Because that's one of the things that she said. She was not combative because she said that she always keeps her voice low and she's not arguing back and forth. So, from your perspective, do you agree?
I feel it didn't take much to come in kind of loud because it was quiet. You know, it was just me and Aries and the ex. So it was so that can be taken multiple ways because since it wasn't that, it was just quiet in there. Any influx of voice is gonna kind of feel loud, like you know. But she did like say I'm here now type stuff. So that's just subjective, and that ain't even a bad thing. You know, it's not even if you came in loud, soft, or whatever. Just the energy was shifted.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah.
Okay. I just want you to clarify when you said that she was strong initially. I just want to make sure that was, you saw that as a compliment.
As a compliment, yes. Okay. Bingo. That's what I said, and I like that in the woman. I don't know if you remember that part, because that's just what I like. I like a strong woman. Strong doesn't necessarily have to mean combative or have to be a negative thing. You're just a strong black woman. I mean, we want to be strong black men.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah. Mo, you had something to say?
No, I was just I just didn't understand how somebody can confuse the strong when you put it in that context.
Well, I can understand because as a woman, when a man says strong black woman, a lot of times that's seen nowadays as a negative. I don't think it should be. I think strong is positive. Combative and aggressive.
Black women is positive too.
Right. That's true. That's very true. Yeah. Very true. But I guess what I want both of you guys to explain, I'll start with Mo and then Chris, you know, from your perspective, what are the characteristics? Because I think women confuse the two. They think strong, all that is considered negative. What are you guys saying specifically when you say, this is not peaceful? Because the first thing women say, well, is he bringing peace? Why do we have to be peace? What qualities are you saying you don't like when it comes to a woman that you're considering being combative, being argumentative, being aggressive? What are those specific qualities so that the women can understand it's not the fact that she's successful. It's not the fact that she has a great job. It's not the fact that she has a lot of degrees or that she's, you know, that she's got financial security. What are the things that are a turnoff so that women can understand it's not because they get it? Well, he's mad because I'm a businesswoman and I don't this. So let's clear that up and then move forward. Mo, start with you and then Chris.
Like, I've never had a problem with the businesswoman. I've dated lawyers. I dated all. But the thing is, it's just bringing that energy at home. You know what I mean? Like, I get you have to be a defense attorney at work, but we don't need the energy in the house. You know what I mean? No. And that's what I get. You know, everybody's talking about masculine energy right now from women and so on and so forth. And that's what they mean. Loud, aggressive. It's not necessary. You know, like he made a good point. When you come home, when you're dealing with the world, and we're gonna talk as, you know, as black men, and to come home, you don't want to have that same fight. You know, you don't want to have that tug of war unnecessary. You know what I mean? And it's just being like, it's no need to step all over. Like I've been in the situations where I've seen the degrees, and I think a lot of times in my life where I've seen like the women, they are impressed. They try to impress you with the things that they're impressed by. If they like a guy that has accomplished this, has these degrees on the wall, CEO of this, president of this, and they are that, they think it's impressive to you, and it's cool, but it's not necessary. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
For me, it's not necessary. It's cool, but I'm not here for what you do. I'm here for who you are.
Bingo. Yeah, facts. And also I think about, you know, when the analogy glass half full or half empty. You know what I'm saying? So you find individuals that has a negative outlook on life. You see what I'm saying? So I find that when someone is constantly negative, it's gonna be hard to coexist when someone else that always seek positive, right? You know, and so that's why if you pay, I didn't even realize it till I watched it, but I was smiling almost every time the camera's on me. I wasn't even paying attention, you know, because I'm a naturally happy guy. You know, and the thing is though, it's too many things to be happy about, and that's what people don't understand, right? And in a cultural aspect, which if we need to get to this later, where I go a little deeper from it, y'all really ain't seen how bad it get. Y'all really haven't, you know, for Black Americans, like you ain't seen it. So for me, as a person that witnessed it and seen it firsthand, when I come over here to America, I'm happy, like I'm overjoyed. You know, and that's the thing. And I think it was something else she alluded to, my finance or something like that. Like, I deserve this. I work hard for this. You know what I'm saying? So don't you, and I don't even talk about that, because that's going to be a whole nother conversation, because there are a lot of men that control women due to their finances.
And that was brought up. That was brought up that because there was the whole scene where she kind of was going back and forth with Lee about the he can't buy me. So
I got. You want to talk about that?
Let's talk about it. Let's talk about everything.
So check this out. so I ended up having to go to the friend date, Jessica friend date. Right. And at this time, I was already telling the producers, hey, put me on a date with Lee. Put me on a date with Aries. Put me on a date with Kat. They say you got to do a friend date. One of the producers said, hey, it's time to impress the girls this week or something. Bring a gift. And I said, is it Lee? Is it Aries? Is it Kat? It was like, no. One slipped up and told me, I said, I'm not bringing her no gift. I'm not doing it. You know, and so, and this is what I think in life. You can have individuals, and I'm not just going to talk about her. I'm going to say individuals where you can spend $1 on and feel like you overspent. And then you can find an individual where you spend 10 to 20,000 and feel like that's not enough to show how much I care about this person. Wow. So it's about the person. It's not about the item. It's the meaning behind it, right? So even getting to that day when Maurice brought his candles, and Maurice had a deep meaning behind it. It was his grandmother. They dropped the candle on the floor and they chuckled about it and laughed. You know, then pick it up like, oh, you bought a gift or whatever. And then with Lee, I went on a date with Lee and her friend Muffin, which I knew from like probably 10 years ago, right? And so me knowing the type of individual Lee is and how she defends people when they're not there, I was like, I want to show this lady my appreciation. And so check with Muffin, what is it that she desires? Because I'm thinking like workout shoes. I'm thinking like I don't know, Peloton. Like I'm thinking about all the stuff I'll just get it real quick or whatever. And so she's like, okay, she ain't need no Peloton, but let me get it. She needs some slides. I said, okay, well, here's my information. Got it. I called somebody, a driver, to go pick it up and bring it to the mansion where we was at. And I tried to get that to her off camera, and the producer's like, oh no, give it unto her on camera. And I'm like, I don't want to do that because I know what comes with that. You know, with the perception of it, right? And so, and that's where she was like, well, he ain't gonna buy me. And Lee like, what did he try to buy you a gift? Yeah. No. You know, so don't come for her in those subtle moments. Those things are dangerous. And later on, I'm gonna tell you how dangerous an individual like that can be as we progress. Go ahead, Mo.
What kind of what were they? Flip flop sandals? I was confused.
Was Versace.
I had my glasses on, so I couldn't see.
It was Versace sandals. I just said whatever the latest and greatest, and get her pink because she's an AKA. So I'm like, well, get her a pink one. Or whatever. So, I mean, I didn't know what it was until she opened it on the bridge. That's it.
So you had Muffin go get it.
Well, Muffin found it, and then I called someone to go pick it up. So I just had to hire somebody to go get it and bring it this way. Okay. You know, and then the store, they just knew my information, and that was that. So that's one of those things. So
okay. So you just wanted to do something that she liked.
Yeah, that was it. It. You know, just to show, you know, that I care about you. Like, I mean, she's a good person. So good people deserve good things. That's just how I feel.
Yeah. Okay. So let's talk about the there's so much and we're jumping around.
But I know.
It's so many things. Before we move to the couples getaway, or it wasn't even a couples getaway, just
it was a getaway.
The getaway, right?
It was a get out of way.
What was there something that happened specifically to why you kept telling production, I don't want to go out with her again? Like, because this is why I'm asking. There's a lot of chatter online, right? That is basically saying that maybe Janelle said something about you What is there something that happened that you did not like, that you said, okay, I'm done with this girl, I don't want to deal with her at all?
A multitude of things, right? And it was consistent. This is what I always thought: if I can watch someone disrespect or treat somebody else bad, what's to stop you from treating me like that, right?
Facts.
Only reason why you're nice to me is because you find me attractive, But if you're treating the waitresses bad, the bartenders, the production, if you're doing all of that, nah, that's not gonna work for me. You know what I'm saying? Like the way you belittle people and you talk, like she felt like if she telling me where you come from and your prestigious family and all those stuff, that's gonna impress me because of where I'm at. Nah, that don't mean nothing. Like it's about your character. And you can't treat somebody horrible and then think, you gonna treat me better? Nah, because you talking about them when I'm not there. You talking about me.
That's true.
With that consistency throughout the dates, every single date, it was something.
So let me just get this straight.
Go ahead.
Are you saying, because when we talked to Jessica, she said that she has never treated anybody bad on the cast. she said that she feels like no one could give her any examples, and people are taking Janelle's, because we've seen Janelle's behavior on camera.
Yeah.
Janelle has said some things to people on camera. Her and Tequila went back and forth. By the way, happy birthday to Tequila. I saw her in the
Happy
chat.
birthday, T. Love you, mama.
Happy birthday to her. I want to, make sure you something at the end, but happy birthday to Tequila. But we saw Janelle mentioning Kira's purse. We saw her calling the other girls ugly. We saw her going back and telling Kira that she didn't like her. Like, we saw a lot of things.
Yeah.
It's not hearsay.
So
we didn't see that from Jessica.
So Christal and Mo, I'm both of y'all. Remember when Tequila said you can get it too when she was talking to Jessica?
Yes.
Why would she just say that out of nowhere, out of thin air? It has to be something behind. You see what I'm saying? Like common sense for all the viewers, she also contribute to the harassment and bullying of Tequila and all the other girls. It's just that she's subtle. That's where I'm getting to. I'm building up to where the dangerous side of a woman like that. Before you know it, it's you getting you ducking before you know it, because it's masked. Like it's like the art of war. You know what I'm saying? So I can see these different tactics. Like Tequila is not just gonna say you can get it too. And then y'all know that Tequila does have that vulnerability side. Like she might be the most emotional woman. I'm the most emotional man on the show.
Yeah.
Like both we two peas in the pies when it comes to that. You know what I'm saying? So that's what people have to understand, that there are other things that you're doing. You constantly poking the bear. You constantly doing this. When you pricking, you pinching, you doing all these things
that you saw her do, because
disrespecting the makeup artists, disrespecting the waitress staff. Even when we had the meeting with the producers, the way they was talking to those producers, it was a very disrespectful manner. I feel you can, and Chris, I'm gonna ask you a nice question. So your interview with her, I haven't seen the whole thing. Did it feel kind of combative? It's just, that's just like when they asked me that she had white qualities. You just pulled a Chris. You just pulled it.
No, what I'll say. I don't feel like it was combative.
Yeah.
I feel like she didn't want to answer the questions.
Yeah.
But you can sense the energy. You don't actually have to do it, but you can feel the energy.
I don't want no negativity around me.
I will say this. I feel like a lot of times, and I told her, I said, Jessica, you are beautiful, most beautiful, when she was talking about her students, because she was smiling and she was really like, her energy changed. So I feel like, I don't know. I know she's, she lost a family member, and I know she's gone through, I think sometimes people go through things and they take things differently. I have a book titled Dear Alpha Female. It's not him. And I will say for myself and a lot of women that I know, I don't know Jessica, but a lot of times fear of being hurt causes women to put up a very big defense. So I feel like it was more defensiveness. But I don't feel like I don't feel like it was. I'm not gonna look at it. This is not biased. You guys, I talked to Jessica for 2 hours. I'm not saying that she was combative. What I'm saying is it felt, I asked questions and she didn't give me the answers back, right? Now, I don't know if she was protecting what, but that's
she got some good PR though. A PR person go hard. I'll tell you that.
Well, she has a lot of great qualities, right?
Yeah, she does.
She has a lot of great qualities, but I'm not gonna go back and forth with y'all about that.
No, but here's the thing, Christal. If a man was to do that, you would say, well, maybe you don't need the date right now. You would need to heal. You see what I'm saying? If she was on the other foot, you'd be like, you need to heal. Who hurt you? You don't need to be dating right now.
Yes. It's a little.
You see what I'm saying?
I'm just explaining. I'm not excusing. I'm just explaining.
No, I got you.
And I feel like this is an opportunity for us to explain, but I feel like she was being as authentic as she has the ability to be. I also feel like at different points in our life, we learn different things, right? So I think that she probably will come to a different understanding at another space. So, or maybe not. I don't know. But I just want to be clear. I'm not saying that she was combative in her conversation with me, but I am saying I didn't understand what the issues were. That's why I wanted to see from you, like, what the hell happened? We did not ever hear what happened, but she also was clear that she didn't want to talk about it. She wanted us to go to her podcast and hear. So that was clear.
There you go.
Oh, and that's fine. So I asked you for examples. You said she was rude to different people, and you saw that. I ask all the time, do men actually pay attention when women are rude to other people? Because I'm asking this, and I'm not picking on anybody on the show. We've seen certain behavior from Janelle. This is not anything.
No, that's facts. So you ain't picking.
Yeah, we've seen that behavior. Yeah. So Jessica said yesterday Janelle had more connections. Janelle and I can't remember.
You said Lee. Did you say Lee?
Lee had more connections than anybody. For Janelle to have all those connections and to be that way towards the other girls, that's strange to me. That's strange to me. So it seems like a lot of men weren't paying attention to, or maybe the women didn't care. I mean, maybe the men don't care.
No,
sometimes when a woman is attractive, men don't care about the actions.
Yeah. Have you seen a salesman on the phone, like back in the days how they used to just sell people stuff over the phone? If you put Janelle on one of those jobs, she would sell out of whatever product they got to offer.
Well, she does. She does. That's what she does for a living.
Yeah. So she's good at that. So when you selling a certain personality, like how you selling those products, that's just what it is. You're gonna throw dirt in there. Let me get this vacuum and clean it up. Like on I Love Lucy, So that's I'm telling my age, ain't Lucy. So that's the thing about that. Like, she's a beautiful woman. She speaks well, and everybody. No one is most of the time is not the same with everybody, right?
Yeah.
Hers has a lot more extremes, right? You and Mo probably laugh all the time. Y'all kiki all the time. But then when y'all with some other friends, always cool. It's like not as like that because y'all vibe with each other, right?
Yeah.
So that's what it is. When someone is proficient in communication, like business, negotiation, I can do that in my sleep, right? Other stuff, I'm like, let me call somebody, let me lean on somebody. It's like, even with my connections, there were times I'll call them for their opinion on stuff, right? Because I value it. So I got to seek understanding. Right. I can't just rely on me.
Right.
I'm going to pray about it, but then I'm going to ask somebody else, what do you think about this? And I think that's what a lot of people are lacking, is that accountability.
Yeah.
And I feel sorry for Jessica Janelle because the people around them aren't holding them accountable.
Yeah.
They're just not. It's proven time and time again. Those women are phenomenal women. They can do so much in this world because of how they move. Like, let's use our powers for good and not evil. It is what it is. You have the power to create something or destroy something. Let's create healthier relationships amongst ourselves versus all this other adverse type situation, because it's toxic.
So let's talk about the elimination when you guys put when the guys talked and Tommy had Marie. I don't know if Tommy or production had Marie be the one to deliver the conversation, and Marie chose to use the word combative. Chris.
Yes. Come on.
What happened in the men's lounge? Because Marie said that when he presented it, he used that word, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then this whole thing, Jessica explained that production told Marie to get up and walk out. All the other men said, no, I've never seen that side. She said you didn't say that. People are saying we've seen him say that. What happened in the men's lounge? Did the other men agree that Jessica was that way? What happened? And what did you think about Marie all of a sudden being like, so upset? Like, what the hell happened there?
Hey, everybody that's on the chat, please pay attention to the words that's coming out of my mouth. All right, so Marie, he was the one that knew that was a triggering word for her.
Okay.
So, and if let's say 4 individuals are saying the same exact word, right? But you only show one person saying it the 4 times. Now that a word is attached to that one person.
Yes.
If you look and further notice, Q even said it was a collective decision, right? Mario like, man, I knew I messed up. That's why he was so sad around that room. I mean, one, he heard her, you know what I'm saying? And then he was the one to deliver it. He chose to say that word. So now, let's go to me with the association of that word. The very first time I verbally said, you are combative, was at that table when I was getting eliminated.
Yeah.
The second time I verbally said she is combative was when I did what's called a pickup right before the reunion when I had on a blue suit and they played it in real time, like I was saying it in real time.
Okay.
Before that, I said we've had combative situations. She showed trace of being combative, maybe like a combative moment. I didn't just say that was her. And we're thinking we're getting confused in like the word, like it's not a bad word. You know, that was the word that I felt the best word to describe what it was. And that was the closest, that was true. And everybody in DFW felt she was combative. Everybody. All the people in the cast felt she was combative. It's just that it was attached to me because I caused her pain by rejecting her. You know what I'm saying? And that's another thing too. Even once I had the phone conversation before her meeting my ex, I said, hey, we still can be cool. I was still nice. I was still like, hey, how's your day going? Trying to maintain a friendship, but I didn't know how big of a sting, you know, that was to her ego, you know, because no one likes rejection, you know, at all. But
especially on a show like this, because it brings out, thank you, Janika, it brings out the competitiveness.
Yes.
So it's more than just getting rejected, like you don't like me, but it's also I want to win, right? And so that's the thing. So let me just be clear, Chris. I'm not trying to be redundant. I just want to be clear.
No, it's okay. It's okay.
So when you guys talked about it in the men's lounge, everybody agreed it was a collective decision, because this was made to say, when we saw the girls talking, Janelle said, we've heard that before. And it made it sound like it was just you that said that, and you are the reason that she was put into the bottom 2.
So yes, it was a collective decision. Now let me and Mo can attest to this most likely. If you know someone's out in a witch hunt, right, and you're right there, and it was like, okay, I think Janelle said, I'm gonna handle who said it. Even on elimination, like they got an uproar in that part. So as a man that doesn't like confrontation with a woman, why would all of us go in there and go at, like, what you want to do? You guys want to double team me on national television? You see what I'm saying? And so and if someone used some incorrect word like, okay, Chris might be afraid or something, who in that house is gonna do something to me, man or woman? Production, the birds out, no one. You know, so it's not fear, it's being smart.
Yeah.
Let me pick my battle. I'm in this house and I have my other friends here, and I thank God when the production that sent me pictures I posted on my Instagram, how we were having so much fun, because I almost lost sight of that because of this situation right here. But I had a great time with my connection, with my friends, with Phil, with all of them. Like, we had a ball, you know. So my mindset was like, all right, well, I'm not gonna talk to them. I got all these other people that I love and care about and love me. You know, that's all I care about. So I'm not gonna continue to have no conversation with anybody else, you know. And even when when they had the whole thing, maybe we can segue into that when we was talking about gender roles and CEOs and all that stuff, because that's important as well.
That came up, and Jessica said she didn't want to talk about that. But I just wanted to be clear, because the guys, it made it seem like you didn't want to answer up to agreeing about that. And the other guys, all we saw was Phil say no.
Phil jumped out. I want no beef, no smoke. Phil, Aries, where your feet at? I want no smoke.
So I just want to make sure we're clear. The other men did have that.
it was a collective decision, just like Q said. These are these guys' words, so I'm not making it up, and you guys heard it. And then even with that, I think me and Lee had a conversation in her room, and at that point, I got kind of irritated, and I went up to Maria. I said, "Hey, you need to go tell this woman what you said, because it's messing up my situation. So you need to go. I'm gonna do it. And even when he communicated, he spoke in circles. Like, he really didn't just say what was said.
He said he was upset that you didn't own up to it, and you were the one that said it.
Yeah, exactly. So Messy Maria, that ain't my words. I just saw it on a blog, and I thought it was catchy. So, but that's the thing too. Like, it ain't. I wish that thing. I mean, everybody wish they could do things differently or whatever. But at the end of the day, you guys are gonna see a certain thing, and it takes people like you and this platform to allow us to say what happened, and then the viewers decide on who they side with. You see what I'm saying? And so that's why I really wasn't tripping, because at the end of the day, this is deeper than this small situation of this show.
Right.
Red Love is small, but these concepts, these things that we're struggling with affects all of us. So I love this conversation. You saw I was excited today to get on there. And then when you say Mo coming, because I heard a little bit of when y'all talked last time, he gonna keep it real. So people are afraid of these real conversations, right?
They are. Appreciate the super chat. Thank you so much, Shantia. Thank you so much. So let me ask you this before we move on to elimination, Chris. The women's lounge and the men's lounge were a huge issue this season.
Yeah,
because there's supposed to be safe spaces.
Oh no!
I would even I would not suggest saying anything. Everything was taken back on both sides. So, from your perspective, what was the hole in the men's lounge? Because I expect women to do that.
Yeah,
it's kind of weird. Mo always has this thing.
Yeah, the Mo
men is supposed to be a safe space. So what was happening that caused?
Oh, sorry, it's my side helicopter. Yeah, the Mo for us, and man, being transparent, it was Maria. It is what it is, like, because he sent a lot of group text, like screenshot both ways, and I hope you all listen to Maria, so you can go ahead and try to say something about it later. He was the one that was really going back and forth. Maria, at the end of the day, Maria wanted to be with Aries anyway, but Aries won't have that. So it is what it is. So it's like they both gonna fall back to each other. Yeah. And it's ironic, and I'm gonna get segue in this word. Jessica said, "Oh, I'm not into PDA," but you were PDAing me all day. You see what I'm saying? So let's not
think about that. She was arm in arm with you.
Thank you.
Think about that.
You know what I'm saying? So no, it's not that. You just not feeling this guy, but y'all have this group collective alliance where y'all want to go out to the end like it's a prize out there. And I told Bruston, I already have my context. I already know who I'm gonna talk to. The it's nothing else here to gain. It's not financial, because no one is really making that type of money there. So my mission has been accomplished. So that's the thing. So yeah, for us, it was Maria, because you got to think now, going back, it was someone said in every elimination with a woman, he was involved in it. And I hate to keep talking about this guy because I don't want to make it about him. But if you think of Leanne, Tequila, Kira, all of those things, he was associated with that. Yeah. And the people I'm with, we manly, man. We don't play like that. You see what I'm saying? And I've had manly conversations with these individuals. Me and Red had a verbal altercation. We squashed it and we cool. Yeah. Because I go direct. But when you talk in circles, and if Mario, if you want to get on a situation where we can talk head up and they can record whatever's comfortable for you, we can have these real conversations. Hopefully you're here. And that's how we address things as men. Like, I shouldn't be addressing a woman. I'm gonna try my best to avoid addressing a woman. And it's like, if me and a woman getting into it, I'm like, hey, you either gotta talk to my sister, or I gotta go talk to your boyfriend or your husband. I'm gonna come to him kindly and softly, and if he want to go somewhere else, then I welcome it. You see what I'm saying? So that's the approach. You got to always proceed with kindness and understanding. And if we got to take it back to what it is, you know, in a primitive state, then let's go ahead and engage in it so we can move on. You know.
So did you think that? So you mentioned that there was alliance. We've heard that all season, that there was an alliance between Jessica, Janelle, and Maria. You believe that to be true?
Oh, I know it to be true because Jessica said something to later on. This is what I found out later on to Aries about, hey, if you put Maria up there, I'll put Phil up there. And Aries like, nah, Phil a grown man. You know, and that's something you can ask Aries and let her say for herself. But that's a sign. But I found that out later, you know, because Aries wasn't really talking during the thing. All the women would say, hey, Chris, you got to stand up for yourself. You're being too nice. You're too kind. You got to, because they hearing what's going on in the lounge. But they're not telling me. They just say, hey, you need to, you know, whatever, stand up for yourself. I'm not going to be taking up for a grown man. But I'm not knowing what's going on. You know, I'm clueless to it. You know, so that's those things are what was going on. You know.
So somebody said bring Maria on. If Maria,
bring him on, pull up on me.
If Maria is in chat, he could definitely jump on. We can.
Yeah, I talk to him all day long. If you want to come on.
Do you feel like Maria used that word on his own, or do you feel like he was told to use that word? Because production.
Yeah, Maria knew what he was doing. I mean, we're grown. Ain't nobody that darn, you know, clueless to everything. You know, everybody has their tactics, and he knows that's gonna trigger her because that's a word that he does know that triggers her. Okay. And he knows that I am gonna be the target for that. Like it's always like that. The spoof, you know, that happens a lot. And as I look at it, things of this nature, it reoccurs in so many different. It manifests itself over and over and over. It's the same characters in every story. You know what I'm saying?
Hold on, Maria. Hold on.
Oh, definitely, Mo.
So Maria, send me put your Instagram in the chat, and I'll send you the link.
Yeah, send him a link.
I'll send him the link so he can come on into because I want him to be able to.
Yeah, that's why I said it so he can come on live so we can talk.
Okay, all right. Mo, let me ask you this, because when you watch, you said, you know what, it just feels weird for another man to do another man like that. So I want you to explain what you meant by that, and then Maria, I'm gonna send you the link in your DM.
Yeah, I can't see the chat at all, so I can't reply to it. So if it's something I need to talk to, that's fine. Send him on there. Let him come on here.
Yeah, I'm gonna send him his somebody. Does anybody know Maria's Instagram? And I can just send him the I'm trying to find his Instagram. I can send him the link. I got
low key. It felt like he threw him under the bus. Low key. That's what it felt to me. I mean, because if he didn't agree with those words, he could have chosen to use his own words.
Bingo.
But if he knew that was a trigger word, then that's when they were talking about the alliance and getting them up out of it. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. Bingo.
Yeah. So that sounds about right.
But I just wanted to make sure production didn't tell him to do that.
Even if they told him,
that's fair.
Mean, yeah, come on. When you know, okay, Christal, you don't like chocolate chip cookies, and then go bring her chocolate chip cookie, and I'll bring you one. Man, you're gonna be like, Chris, you know better.
Yeah. Is this Grand Maria? I found him. Okay.
Yeah, that's him. I'm gonna send this one.
Here is the link. All right, maybe we can get some resolution. That's a good thing. This is a good thing.
Yeah, I'm excited about it.
All right, Maria, I sent you the link to your DM. All right, and we were supposed to have Maria on. We'll still have him on by himself because I want him to be able to tell his full story. But I do want to, him to be able to acknowledge what this is. So while we're waiting for Maria to join, Chris, let's get to the elimination date. Okay. Jessica said she did not know that you were going to be there. She did not know that that she was supposed to be the one to send you home. What was that conversation? Because obviously it was edited. I saw you about the hat going back and forth to where editing was just really, really, really bad. But I also have to know
it was horrible.
From talking to you the first time, something had to happen to make you
Hey,
go
yo,
that
Chris,
way.
let me say this. I ain't gonna lie. The way you was gripping that glass, I ain't know how that shit was gonna go, man.
No, don't say that, Mo. So you know what? Let's talk about this. So what you just said, Mo. If you talk to Aries, Cat, if you talk to Aries, Cat, or Lee, one thing they're gonna say is that they feel safe around me. That's the key word. That they're gonna feel protected. You know, in our culture, that's just not acceptable. You know what I'm saying? That's the reason why I was so apologetic about the words that I used to that woman, because that's not me. You know, and if you line up 100, even 1,000 people that know me to speak on my character or their experience, they're gonna be like, Chris, that ain't you. You know, and I feel horrible that I got to that point, you know, on that part. So
and here's the thing, like, I believe you. I didn't see that energy prior.
Yeah.
And I was like, it struck a nerve, but it's not necessarily like I thought you was going to do something to her with the glass. I'm thinking you just going to crumble it in your hand, you know, something like that.
Yeah.
But I was rocking with you up until that point, and I was like,
I get it.
Here's the thing, like, you a fly, cool cat, and to me, it was like, oh, he blue is cool right here on TV, and I'm just like, at a certain point, you know, your power is in leaving it alone. Walking away, leaving it alone. That's your power. You know, in situations like that. But up until that point, like I said, I felt everything was going. I don't know if I would have did the flip flop thing, but all the other stuff, I was rocking with you.
Oh man!
But I knew, and I guess playing it back, or probably right after, you probably felt the way like, damn, I said that, I kind of played myself.
And I apologize to her right then too. What I didn't like, because later on, like she posted something about he flipped the table on me, then a chair, and all the other stuff. You know, and she had to take it down because it was a lie.
She said you were standing over her. What triggered you to make you that angry at her?
It was a plethora. It was a plethora of things, the conversation, and I even went deeper, and I was talking about my roots and my heritage and everything like that. Is how we are as far as men, and then how we respect each other. And I'm like, I'm always gonna respect you, so show me the same amount of respect as a man, you know. So and all that exploded before I even found out what Tommy said. I didn't even care what Tommy said at that point. You know what I'm saying? So that happened prior till. It wasn't because she said that I exploded. That doesn't make sense. You know, and if she looked up, because I was walking away. Like I tried to leave 3 consecutive times. Once when I first got there, and I'm like, you know, I'm gonna be nice, you know, I'm gonna get through this or whatever. But it was a setup. It really was, you know, with that. And I'm like, come on, man.
We're gonna bring Marie in. Marie.
What's up, Marie?
What's up, lying ass boy?
Uh-oh.
Hey, I'm a man. Don't call me boy. Don't play like that.
You're a boy, bro.
Okay, hold, Marie.
Whoa.
Wait, Marie.
Keep going.
Hold on. Okay. First of all, welcome to the show.
Man,
hello,
you know,
right.
respect me more than that, man. Come on.
I'm sorry.
How we gonna have a conversation? You gonna come at me like that?
Bro, literally just called me. You just called me Messy Mario. Chill out.
No, she called you Messy Mario and others. But you really are though.
You lying again. You lying. You the only person that been shown as a liar on TV. When you came up to that room, Lee was getting on you. Hold on, let's backtrack.
Keep going.
With all these so-called fake connections that you had, you know you did not have not one single one of them connections. Jessica was your real connection all the way up until your ex date. You said Jessica #1. I know that to be true because we shared the same connection. Okay. Moving forward, and when the ex day came back, it went to a hard no. All of a sudden, Jessica was your #1 date up until it didn't start. No, everybody in the chat, did that conversation of him even make sense about why Jessica all of a sudden got turned on by him? Jessica's narrative is pushed that she is.
Go back and listen to what she said about that date when she said, "Oh, I kind of like."
We heard your lies already. We gotta clear all this up with you.
Hold on, hold on, Chris. Let Marie talk.
Okay.
Yeah, let's debunk this stuff real quick. So you mean to tell me an individual who is being called by both men and women, everybody, that she shows no emotion, no expression. Meanwhile, you were somehow, some way able to turn her on by calling her a strong black woman. That don't even make sense, Chris. That lie don't even make sense. Let's put it together. Let's fast forward. She was your #1 connection over every single person. You did not have no Katarina in there. You didn't have no Aries in there. You put Lee in there towards the end. Now, get to the house trip. Did you or did you not walk up to me secretly on your phone, texting and saying, hey, man, I don't know what I'm going to do about Lee. I'm losing him. Did you or not? Right or wrong, true or false?
If I take, because I told you, I just
Hello,
said,
we just asked a question.
listen,
For yes
I just
or no.
said you need to go say something to her. You asked me a question. You asked me a question. Can I answer it? Can I answer it?
I just asked for yes or no.
Can I answer the question?
Let him answer. Let him answer.
I said, Morier, go and tell this one what you said because you messing up my situation.
No, we're talking about
the same thing.
I'm talking about two completely different things. This was the note that you put on the phone before. This is the first day. We in the kitchen. We standing in the kitchen. You typing a note because we had a thing about the burgers are on the grill. We know we mic'd up. We can't talk. It's me and you in the kitchen. Did you or did you not do that?
Say that you're messing up my connection. Yeah, you was messing up my connection.
No. You're talking about the bedroom, and I'm going to clarify that lie too. We're talking about inside of the kitchen. In your phone, did you or did you not text me about, bro, I don't know how I'm going to do with Chris, with Lee? Yes?
In what manner? What was I trying to articulate if I said that?
Because you asking to see how can you create a connection between you two?
No.
Because you know it wasn't there.
Let me tell you.
No, answer the question. Did you or did you not do that?
Hold on.
This ain't even get nowhere with this conversation.
I just need a yes or no.
Me and Lee had a connection before we got to
Stop beating around it. That's not the question I just asked you.
Bro, you can't just set me up and then just gonna say, did you say this?
It's not a setup. It's yes or no.
Okay. Marie, let's because I don't think y'all are gonna get a answer out of.
Because he's lying. Y'all, the boy's lying.
So tell us hold on, Marie, from your perspective, because I was looking to talk to you on your own, but I will tell you guys, we didn't really see a lot of connections, period, right? What do you say to the fact that a lot of people have said that you had an alliance with Jessica and Janelle? Because a lot of people have said that. And we see you and Jessica saying that there's a connection, but we don't really see it. We haven't been able to see it. I understand editing has a lot to do with that, but I want to hear from your mouth. What is your perspective on that?
I honestly would say editors played a role with everybody, not just me. Okay. In real time, my very first date was Janelle. Out of everything, out of group dates, out of individual dates, my very first date was with Janelle. Okay. My second date was with Aries, I believe. My third date might have been a group date, I want to say. But I'll say for the most part, so like Sierra, they showed me and Sierra's first date. Me and Sierra did not actually have that date until like after the hold down. So like even that was like out of place because I think they showed it in like the second, maybe third episode or something. But it was actually after like the hold down. So they haven't showed like literally any of even the Kira date. That was actually a group date. Okay. That wasn't even a solo date. We had me, Phil, Jessica, and Kira had a group date at a beer spot. It was a beer spot. So we all were talking. They did the little scene there, and then they split us up. Me and Jessica went first, and Phil and Kira stayed. They had their split, and then me, Kira went, and then Phil and Jessica stayed. But then they showed it on the show as if it was just a single day between me and Kira. Okay. So I think like with the show overall, I feel like they're focusing more on like storylines, drama versus of like showing the connections that was and connections that weren't. Okay. You know what I'm saying? And just allowing the people to, simply do a connection.
So did you really have who were your connections? Because Chris mentioned the fact that we did see that you and Kira, you were partial in her going home. And you did deliver the word combative. Did production tell you to deliver the word combative?
Yes, and Chris knows that. Every
so let me ask you. No, I don't know that. But if you knew that was a triggering word, why would you use that word?
Because that's the word that you mentioned 4 or 5 times before that moment. That was the word that you mentioned 4 or 5 times before the moment. The same word that you lied and said that you didn't say, that you did actually say.
So now
and you said it multiple times. Now, because Crystal was talking to me. So when we do the actual deliberation, any bubble date, hold on, just for proof. See, a lot of times we just be saying stuff, but we don't be having.
Yeah, go on, send some more screenshots.
We actually got a screenshot right there. You look close, y'all can screenshot it, record it. April the 11th. That was the day we were there. In there, y'all look really close. The word combative is in there.
Okay. Mario, send that to my Instagram because I can't see that on
screen.
My thing, I don't know whether production told you. If they told you, why did you use that word? But knowing it
because that was what was said. So
and it was a collective decision.
Your job,
we all felt
it was a Chris decision. It was the Chris decision.
Wait, but Mario, how can one person send everybody home?
Yes.
So let me. I'm gonna explain. I'm gonna literally explain the whole entire process, everything how it works. So you have 4 men at this moment that are left. Okay. We have me. I state my piece. Chris, he states his piece. Quinn states his piece. Phil states his piece. He's the last one there. So in every episode, every lounge, we always stated 3 top people, 3 bottom people. That's how it always goes, and you always normally go in the order. In the men's lounge, I can honestly say our lounges, we were normally majority rules. That's normally how the process went, right? Okay. So we get down to where obviously there's only 4 men left, right? So now we're pretty much equal in this moment. Just so happens the 2 people that are in the bottom in the moment are both my connections at this time, right?
Right.
Head producer pulls me outside, pulls me away from everybody else. I'm standing outside. He say, "Hey, I don't want you thinking that, production has anything to do with this. These are your connections. This decision is left up to you." I said, "Man, well, hey, it's Jessica. I'm thinking that if we just going to go back, somebody else is going to deliver. I don't know if Tom is going to do it. I don't know how this is going to work." Come to the kitchen. Quinn's asking, he's like, "Hey, so what's the decision?" I said, "Man, majority rules, bro. That's just how it works. Majority rules. So it got to be Sierra." He's like, "All right, well," Simone is like, "Hey, I need to come and talk to you." My bad. I didn't mean to say your name, but she's like, "Hey, I need to come and talk to you." At this moment, I'm like, man, I know they ain't finna make me come down there and do this. I know they're not finna make it. I was gone for 45 minutes away from everybody else. If you notice, when we were all walking out getting set, I'm the back person walking out because I was the last person. They were already outside by the time I actually came down and walked out with everybody else, right? Okay. So she was like, "Hey, these are the things you got to say. These are the things that was mentioned." And I'm like, "Man, why can't somebody else do this?" Like, I'm fighting. I'm like, "Man, hey, go get the head producer. Bring him up here. Like, yo, get somebody else to do this. I don't want to do this." We're going back and forth just about doing it, right? So now it's already a hard situation. You're nervous. You're on camera. You're doing all this stuff. So now I'm trying to remember everything that's said because I have to say this verbatim. Down to, as y'all can see on the notes, who you got to call first. Literally, who you have to call first. So this was said about Jessica. This is said about Sierra. I have to mention everything that's said about the men because I can't be in this space. I can't say, "Hey, it's so-and-so. Hey, it's so-and-so that said this. Hey, so-and-so says this." No, you have to say the men feel that you are tall. The men feel that you are pretty. The men feel that you are cool. The men feel that you are combative. In this space, I knew, yes, to Chris's point, I did know that there was a triggering word for her.
And why would you say
for me,
bro?
like I said at the house in front of everybody, that it was a 40-inch slip. Chris knows this to be true because I said that in front of him in the kitchen.
Okay, because you did look like, man, I messed up.
I messed up, and I took accountability for it multiple times. I messed up by saying it. I did not plan to say that word.
But let me ask you this, Marie, just being honest. Was Chris the only man that felt that way about Jessica in the lounge?
Yes.
That's a lie, bro.
Who else?
We all felt like that. We all of us. You can call it. We all felt like that.
Who's the other person?
Whether you gonna say it.
Who's the other person?
I said all, brother.
Okay, so that be feeling
the
Quinn.
whole enchilada.
All right, let's get them on the line.
We all felt like that.
Get them on the line.
We all felt like that. Because it's funny with all these things.
The women felt like that.
The
women felt like that. The producers felt like that. Everybody felt like that. You chose to say that word, and you knew that was a trigger.
Okay,
you knew it was because you
chose to say that word, and you knew it was a trigger.
Because you thought she started some rumors on you. That's what you thought it was about. That's what you thought. Let's be honest. You had girl as your number one pick, and I said the same thing at the reunion in your face, right there in front of you. I said the same thing in your face.
Wait,
to the house. Let's get to the house.
Marie, let Chris respond. Let Chris.
I got you. It's just so many lies that
it's not a lie. We all felt. We've had moments where we said it in the lounge how we felt. you can't fault me for how my experience with her was. You can't fault me for that. That's my experience.
Chris,
If yours
nobody's
was totally
faulting you for
let me
that.
finish though. Let me
Go
finish.
ahead.
Show me the same amount of respect. You
Go ahead.
heard me say that before? Yeah. So you can't fault me for my experience. If I felt that way, we all felt it. I just used the word more apparently, and I said we had combative moments. It was combative situation traits. The first time I called her that was at the elimination, and when I did a pickup before the reunion, that was that. And when she called us out there, you're not gonna put me up on a cross and crucify all of us. If she felt it was just me, then come just talk just to me. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna sit there and a witch hunt to where I'm gonna go after 2 women. I'm not gonna do that. That's not nah, bro. I'm not gonna do that. Like,
what? Let me ask you this: why are it's because, like I said, I expect the women. We've seen the women fighting back and forth, right?
Mm-hmm.
But why? What's the issue with the two of you guys? Because you said we saw you on Friday's episode, like you were really physically upset because I feel like you didn't like the fact that Jessica was hurt, right? So what were you upset because you had to deliver the message, or were you upset because you made the 40 and slip? What made you so upset to where you got up and walked out? Or were they told, Jessica said production told you to walk out?
Production did tell me to walk out. Lainey was the Pacific production member that actually said to get up and walk out on her.
Okay.
Throughout everywhere, we had them all over. Now, what I will say to both points, it was actually I was upset about both. I didn't want to do the deliberation at all. Why would I be wanting to send either one of my connections home? I don't want to send either one. Send somebody else's connection home. I don't want to send them home. You know, and I was so, like I said, I was so focused on not saying it because I'm like, damn, I know this is gonna be a problem. I know this is gonna be a problem. Boom, messed around and said it. I'm just damn.
And guys, just to clear things up, I'm not angry at Maurier. You know what I'm saying? This is all about the whole situation. Like, me and him disagree. I feel that he was being messy in some areas. He feel like I was lying about something. We're trying to get an understanding right now, a resolution, and why we both feel how we feel. So if he got beef with me, that's a personal problem. If that's something he needs to address, he can address that. You know what I'm saying? So I want y'all to bring him so we can have this conversation.
Yeah, he did.
Like, I'm not trying to go back and forth and fight with him, on this at all, verbally nor physically, unless he choose to.
We don't choose. We don't choose. This is a safe space. But he did say bring you up, Maurier, and I appreciate you saying that, because I do think I love the fact that you get a chance to explain your point here.
Bingo.
The problem is no one likes seeing how that happened, right? Yeah. Afterwards, Janelle got everybody together and said, how could you guys think that it was okay to use that word towards a Black woman? Maurier, my question to you is that word a problem, or is the behavior a problem? If no one else saw that, if Chris had that experience, was he wrong for saying what his experience was? Because it feels like everybody just want to backtrack because they didn't want to piss anybody off. But if that was his experience, do you think he was wrong for honestly saying what his experience was?
In no shape or form, Chris wouldn't be wrong about honestly saying what his experience was.
Okay.
I don't think that is not what the part that's being called. People are asking the question of a false narrative blamed on someone with no examples. That's what we're actually talking about. Okay. Now, when it actually pertains to words like combative. Now, I'm very, I think the consensus knows that I'm very serious about my culture. So, like, using certain words, I just don't fly with, and how we try to paint.
And being serious with your culture, bro, then why say that word if you that strong about your culture?
Let him.
I literally just said it was a Floridian slip. I just explained it.
My apologies.
And I stand 10 toes down when I said it. I was wrong. I was dead wrong about it. In the same house, I was also the same person who spoke with both Janelle and Kat. Told both of them about using the word B. I was consistent with that from day one. And we had a whole production meeting.
About using the word what?
Using the B word. Like, I'm just talking about how we as Black people are perceived, how we talk about each other, the things. There's no clip, there's no moment, there's no secret, there's no up under the breath, none of that, where I said anything negative about no man, nor woman. I never said nothing bad, even if that person wasn't a connection.
Yeah.
I never spoke ill, never said no little side jokes, none of that about nobody the whole time. We even had a whole boycott meeting, brought it up, brought the whole situation up. And I'm going to address this Moe lie also that was off.
Yeah, that's what you were doing. You didn't say nothing negative. You were just snitching. You were like,
yeah,
just going back and forth.
We're going to address that. We're going to address that because that's really Chris projecting. He's actually telling the truth on himself. But we're gonna get to that.
What I'm saying about
in the actual boycott that we had a whole boycott against production, whatever. And I think that kind of plays a role as to how all of us have been perceived to a degree because of that situation. Where I told him, I said, man, from day one, I'm not gonna be fighting or going back and forth. I'm not gonna be disrespecting, calling no woman out her name. Me and Chris.
Mario, let me ask you this, and I hate to do this because we're talking about this situation. But it did seem like you were really, really, really hard on Kira. So, and some of the other castmates have said they stood up for her. And when you brought up several things, and I heard, then we know Janelle, kind of went at her. Do you feel like, looking back, do you feel like that was wrong, the way you approached the situation with Kira?
No, because I actually approached Kira very respectfully. I didn't approach Kira or say anything like sideways. And I actually, it's funny because so there's a podcast kind of like this that is with a Ready to Love cast from previous seasons. Somebody sent it to me and I hopped on and they were talking about the moment between me and Kira. And I actually got on and I defended the idea that somehow I was like the gatekeeper for blackness. Yes. And me and Kira actually have this little sidebar at the reunion. Hopefully they'll show it. But when we talk about this and where I'm basically discussing like, this was not about like saying if you're black enough or not, or because you speak proper. I mean, hell, Jessica talks just as proper. You know what I'm saying? If not more. But it was more about if this connection could be possible because of how vastly different our lifestyles are.
That's
and
fair.
I mean, just as much as she's in a small percentage of black people, I'm probably in an even smaller percentage of black people. You know what I mean? And I know that to be true.
Right.
And so it wasn't, because I honestly think Kira's a cool person as a person, right? Gotcha. I think she's a pretty girl. I don't think she's ugly. Like Chris said, I agree with him, what he said earlier. We didn't have an ugly girl where it was just, we didn't have that. So it pretty much got to the point to where we're trying to figure out, okay, as personalities and lifestyles going to be able to mesh.
Yeah. Okay. Hey, Christal, ask him about Tequila too. How he played Tequila. Tell him on that.
Yeah, we'll play it. We'll say that because that's where a lot of the stuff is actually starting from.
So let's talk. So let me ask you this before we get off Kira. Do you feel like the way she was treated by Janelle was appropriate?
By where Kira, yes. Her and Janelle moment, yes.
But do you think that was fair?
Yes.
You do?
Yes.
Okay. Explain why.
Only because of the other individual that told me what was fully said. A man.
What was said? Just tell us what was said.
I don't want to break the comp because I wasn't supposed to say.
Oh, now you don't want to break it.
I'm gonna say it's warranted. See, one thing.
Okay, all right. Let me ask you this,
Christal. Let me explain this.
Wait.
That I've been consistent with.
I can end this. I can end my line of questioning.
I got you.
When Janelle said her purse is fake, mine is real. Are you okay with that?
No.
When
I told
Janelle
Janelle
said,
that.
These ugly ass bitches, are you okay with that?
No.
Okay. All right. I just want to make sure you're not just riding for your buddy.
Not at all.
Okay.
Well, my thing, if these are your buddy, why are you not holding them accountable if you're not okay with that?
I literally just said that they were wrong, and I have held them all accountable.
He said he did. He said
on camera. I talked to both Kat and Janelle. See, the thing is about what I'm saying, it can be proven.
Did you talk to him about Tequila and everybody else?
Example.
So let's talk about Tequila.
Hold on, real quick. We have to make sure we cover all of the things because what he'll like to do is skip over very important pieces. Okay. In the room, when we were in the room, because you can go watch the episode. I mean, the scene with him and Lee. It's on the OWN network on the YouTube channel. They didn't air it. That's the conversation that he's talking about. It's me, Quinn, and Phil. We're still in the room. He's walking in. Chris says to me, "Hey, man, Lee's getting on me. She's thinking that I'm starting all of this. I'm responsible for everything that I said it." I said, "Chris, don't even worry about it, bro. The word came out of my mouth."
Don't even.
I'm the one that said it. I said, you know what? Let's leave it alone. Let's dead it. I'm the one that said it. I'll go ahead and take the rap for it. Did I not say that in the room?
Yeah,
Chris?
But you didn't take the rap for it.
Hold up. That's not what you said.
Asked. No. You cannot ask me. Let me tell you something.
Y'all see how quick these define the lies?
Guys, come on, Chris. We gotta.
The thing is though, you cannot ask me a question that's a yes and no, and not allow me to answer it the proper way.
That's true.
That's tactful.
But Chris, you can't start off with the lie and then try to backtrack, bro.
Okay, but you guys, we can't both talk because we can't hear. Chris, let Chris respond to what you just said.
Thank you so much. You said that, but then when it was time to talk about it, you was talking in circles. You didn't just concrete say that you chose. Like you didn't say you said it, bro. You didn't say that. Everybody else noticed that you was talking in circles. So I'm like, well, it is what it is. We gonna move on. But you didn't concrete and say that, hey, I said this. You know what I'm saying?
Chris, that's what I literally just asked you. You're not making no sense.
You didn't say that you felt she was combative also. And now
I never said she was combative. I never said that. And that's on my life. You know I never said that.
Okay.
Put that on something. I've been asking you questions all day long. Man, we ain't in
third grade. Put that on something.
But that's how you've been acting this whole time, like you're in elementary.
Get on. We're gonna put it on. Mary had a little line. What you mean?
Like the amount of lies, Chris. I came in that, you walked in that room literally after everybody left and sit up here and say, man, Lee is giving me hell behind me.
I did say that. That's not a lie.
And I
admit that I did say that.
And I just literally said in real time.
You said I walked in and said that.
No, you came in and when I wasn't on here, you was talking about, I had to tell Mario, you need to go down because you messing up my connection. No,
that's what I said.
That's not what you said.
What's the next thing?
That's not happening in real time.
That's not even important. Let's move on.
Now the lies are important because
no. I'm not saying. But Mario, I'm just saying for the
conversation. You're the only person that said it, Chris.
The viewers are interested in knowing what still from Chris. And I'm gonna let you respond to this after Chris.
Okay.
I want to know from Chris, what did Jessica say at the elimination that caused you to be that angry and to say F her? That's what we want to know.
It's a plethora of things that Jessica,
what are those things that she said?
But you got to understand, same way when she was talking to you, there was a lot of stuff happened. That day was long. So it was a plethora of things. The main thing was like the disrespect. Like I just felt like she just kept disrespecting me throughout the process, how she was disrespecting everybody else, how she, even on phone conversations, all of those things. There was things outside of the camera. But if that's cool with her, it's just not cool with me. Like I don't do well with disrespect at all. That's why when Maurier said, boy, I had to calm down because that's going to go to another avenue. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm always respect somebody because people here don't understand that it's only one way after that. Like, and we don't need to go that route. Like, there's so many things we can do to prevent that. And so when I'm forced to be there with a woman that I do not have an interest with and I don't want to be connected to, I'm back against the wall and it's a setup between her, the production, whoever. It don't even matter at this point. And I'm continuously telling y'all, hey, we're not a connection. She even asked me why we're not a connection at the elimination. Why at this point, if you're so-called like in Maurier, why are you worried about me and why we're not a connection? That doesn't.
Mo, let me ask Mo, because do you understand what I'm asking? Because I feel like I'm not getting the question out correctly. Do you understand, Mo, what happened?
Yeah, I do. And at the end, he kind of explained it like at the end, he just lost it. We gotta face that.
And nothing she did deserved me to say that to her. And that's why I kept on.
Well, I think her nonchalantness bothered him. She was looking for if he wasn't interested, move on. She wanted answers. Right. But at the fact that when he did say something and she replied, she was nonchalant. And I think he just blew his cool.
I don't see how nonchalant leads to F you and everything you stand for.
Her nonchalant, it was because he had said the word earlier. It wasn't just her being nonchalant, but it was her attitude and her. It was I don't know if it was passive.
It was a combination of things. You know what I'm saying? And the woman.
It's still no excuse.
It's no excuse. It's no excuse. Just like we talk about the table stuff. A woman like that is very, very dangerous. And I'm gonna tell you why that's dangerous. Imagine this woman calling her man and say this man is doing this, blah 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 blah. Like it's no way. If it's a man like me or Mo, even a man like Morier, if somebody is messing with his sister or his mom or whatever, and it's not actuality, when we get there, we finna change some lives. Like, that's serious. Like, so you can't play with that. You see what I'm saying? That's the most scariest thing, if you putting somebody in a position knowing good and well that you didn't have to put them in that position. Because when I said that, best believe I'm figuring it's gonna be a man in her life that's gonna come holler at me. That's what I thought. And I was open to it. You see what I'm saying? Because I already know what comes with it.
Yeah.
So therefore, that's why I don't disrespect people, because I know what that other side look like. Y'all ain't seen what I seen.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So
you why I don't do that. You offered Jessica an apology.
Multiple times. I said, hey, I apologize. Nothing you did warrant me to say that. You see what I'm saying? A lot of people's like, well, she deserved it built up. I still don't think men should talk to women like that. And I apologize at the reunion. I apologize to her in her face. If she hear I say it again, because that's not cool. But let's stop pushing men to that limit. You know what I'm saying? Let's stop doing that, because that's not cool. You know.
So there was some suggestions, and I think Maria kind of alluded to it, that some of the women questioned you, and from what I heard, questioned your sexuality. Is
so
that
no? At that point, I ain't heard nothing about that. So after later on, then it was like rumors. I'm like, are you like, come on, man? And things that don't even pertain to me, I don't give it no energy at all. Right. You know what I'm saying? Because trust me, like that was something like, man, you know, man, I'm gonna keep moving because it's not true. You know, so when you think, if you see a man like me, you gotta find a way to try to tear me down, because I don't lose in life, and the people around me don't lose in life. Period. So you gotta pull from whatever to try to tear a man that's confident in himself. Yeah. And a woman too. If a woman's confident in herself, and you can't find no flaws that you see, you gotta, he's showing his true self. That's the real Chris. That's this. Well, check my track record. Check the people that's around me that know me. Yeah. You see what I'm saying? Like, check that. You can't, and that's where it don't even matter. That's why I said, Chris, on thing, whether good, bad, comment, whatever. I was, hey, bring Maria on, because I'm not fearful of nothing that comes with it. Let's address it. Let's find a common ground. If Maria tomorrow say, hey, what's up, bro? Get on the phone. I'm gonna answer the phone and talk to him. This ain't no personal thing with none of this. Right. You know what I'm saying? He might feel some type of way about me, but that's a personal problem to him. You know what I'm saying? I don't feel no type of way about you, Maria, but that's all I can say on my end.
But I can understand why he would feel that way with hearing you say that he was messy. But we're asked Maria, did he take information back to the ladies? And I will just say, every season this happens. Every season Pillow Talk goes from the lounge to the other place. This season it just got out of control.
Yeah, it really is.
Tequila asked to be brought on. We're gonna have you on another day. I just think we got a lot going on today, and we don't want to add. I want to let the men get a chance to say what they want to say. But Tequila, I will definitely bring you on. We talked about having you back on before the reunion. I just think today we got Maria and Chris, and that's a lot. We're having a hard time managing it as it is. So Maria, I do want you to speak to what was going on with you and Tequila, because it's difficult to see the men. We don't see you guys having any issue with each other. We've seen the men going back and forth, but when a man is going back and forth with women, that just feels weird. So where's that coming from?
Chris, I'm so glad you brought up that when a man is going back and forth with a woman, that is weird energy. Or when men are picking on and bullying women, that is weird energy. It's weird. It's very weird. Mm-hmm. Even lying on them, that's just weird. I will say this: if you think back, and again, I'm gonna allow the people to choose. Think back to the episode, the second, third episode, whichever episode is the first Men's Lounge. I believe it's the second episode. No, it's the third. The episode where Chris mentions, hey, I had a conversation with Tequila. She's stating that, you know, something happened with one of the other connections, that they were spending more time working on something else. Mm-hmm. How it happened with me and Tequila, Tequila contacted Aries. This is what Aries tells me. Okay. Tequila contacted Aries to give for Aries to give her my number. She said, hey, I'm just letting you know Tequila asked for your number. To my knowledge, I honestly didn't. I thought I got Tequila's number from the Mansion Mixer, but I was like, dang, I thought I got it, but I didn't have it. So I told her, I was like, yeah, give it to her. She was like, nah, I don't want to get in between anything. You know, I'm just letting you just put it on your radar. When you see it next time, make sure you get a number. I was like, bad, cool. Producer, our dressing producer, you know, not gonna say the person's name, our dressing producer, hits me up and was like, hey, Tequila, ask for your number. Is it cool that I give it to her? I was like, yeah, actually, it's funny. I was just talking to Aries about it. Yeah, go ahead and give it to her.
Okay.
Boom, we chopping it up. We cool. Everything's good. Me and Tequila have a good connection, conversation going on at the mixer. Tequila was like, I want to say like the second person I talked to at the mansion. You know, we both sharing about family members passing away. We had us a little moment. We cried. Obviously, y'all see the moment where she's crying on camera. And I'm like, you know, me and this girl, we was cool. We was chopping it up. I feel like we got something here. Like it might be a little bond or something. So let me go over here and check on him. I even told her she'll confirm it. I even told the camera, I was like, yo, give this girl some time. Like, you know, this is a real moment she had. And obviously, you know, it's all first time. Everybody's nervous. Everybody's tensions are high. You know, it's a moment. So I'm sure she probably dealing with a lot. So, you know, check on her. So we still tight. We get to the brunch. Still cool. Get to the ladies' lounge. First day. I text her that morning. I don't get a response back until like later that evening. Get a long text message just like, hey, you know, I think you should be going to go focus on your other connections because obviously you've been spending more time with them. And I'm like, now by this is only like day 3, like day 2 or 3 in real time of like, I'm talking about day 2 or 3 of like, we're knowing each other.
Right.
I'm like, dang, you know, I just got the number, but I don't know nothing about the show. I don't know nothing about the process. I'm just like, I thought the process is to get to know everybody, communicate with everybody as much as possible. You know, that's how I just thought it was going. So I'm like, what's she tripping on? What's the deal? Like, what's the issue? You know, but I'm like, hey, you tell me, go have a good life. Have a good life. Cool. Boom. Leave it at that. And I'm just like, okay, well, obviously this is not a connection. She ready for me to go. So we need Tommy, who'd you say who was my bottom? Tequila.
There was a stool in there. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, y'all. My husband came in and he's trying to come in and hear the story because I make him watch the show with me. So he's like, "What? I gotta put my baby on." Because this is men and he can give me the man. Come in, baby, give me the man's perspective here. So Marie,
yeah,
I'm suggesting that I'm talking to Marie, babe. He's in. You got to come into the camera. You coming into the camera. All right, y'all. This is a crazy night. I done brought my honey in and
my man.
What's going on, brother? What's happening?
All right. So this is Chris and this is Marie.
Yeah.
All right.
What's going on?
When you
I'm listening.
All right. Marie is telling us about not your husband is cute. Gifty, don't play with me now. Don't play with me now. Hey, wait a minute. Man,
hey, he don't stir up some stuff.
Wait a minute. All right. So Marie, so you had no issue with Tequila, is what you're saying?
No, outside of that, I had no problem with her. I had absolutely no problem with her. Like we said, I'm just simply like, hey, if you tell me go have a good life, you're done. I'm just like, okay, well, I guess I'm done then. So we can just part ways.
And she didn't tell, you don't know where that came from.
Where what came from?
Where her saying you've been spending time with your other connections.
Oh, no, I know exactly where that came from because the conversation me and Justin had, we had like second night, we had a 5-hour conversation. And it was the fact that we had a long conversation and she's like, well, because that was what was discussed in the women's lounge.
Okay. Chris, can you speak to, do you have any intel on that? Do you have a rebuttal for what Marie is?
I don't. I'll let Tequila speak her piece. Okay. She's going to be on later, so yeah.
Okay. Marie, yours, you know what? You're going to have to leave. You causing, if somebody else says, hey, Christal's husband again, I'm going to get him off of here. Y'all tripping, y'all not being respectful.
You need the moderators in here.
Have any single friends. What? Anyway.
Mo is my single friend.
All right, no, but I guess what I'm trying to figure out, Marie, is, well, let me ask you this, because with the dates that you had with Jessica and Janelle, right? And you, it seems like you brought him. You kept getting into trouble with the ladies. It seems like you get into trouble with the ladies. You brought the lady that was doing the tarot cards. Janelle was really upset about that. And then again, not hide your husband in these RTLs. My mama told me if they can get him, they can have him. So I don't even think that y'all are being disrespectful though in the chat. Come on now. But no, I want to ask Marie about him getting in trouble with the ladies, because we do see that we don't see the connection. We don't see a real connection. We did hear you say that Jessica and you did not really, there was not PDA. There was not really she was kind of hesitant to open up. So I'm just trying to figure out, for you, did you feel like you really have a connection with Jessica? And do you feel like you don't know where Chris's allegations are coming from? Is that not your experience?
Yeah, my experience was completely different, and Chris knows that my
experience. You got a real connection with Jessica?
Real connection with Jessica. You go back, if y'all, again, everything I'm talking about is again on camera. Okay. You go back and you can look at the first mansion mixer. At the very end of the day, Jessica was wearing my jacket. Got pictures literally of me and Jessica in our phone. It was so bad, me and Jessica were by ourselves, to where 2 production members had to come and get us. We were outside sitting by the pool for about almost, I would say, about an hour and a half. And that's a long span, which is to be sitting and talking to one individual at a mansion mixer where you're getting pulled every 5 minutes. So you go back and look at the original. It's on camera.
No, so because I was thinking that when I talked to Jessica yesterday, and she talks about the fact that it takes her, she's not really into PDA and that, and I get that, because I was kind of the same way at first, right? I'm just not a person that when I meet somebody, I'm gonna be all over them, right? I'll be all over them later. but you did say that on camera, that you felt like she wasn't really opening up. Chris said he didn't have that same experience. So do you feel like you and Jessica have gotten past that? That was really or you feel like she was really into you?
Yes.
Okay.
She into you?
Yes.
Chris, be nice.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Chris knows that to be true. Chris' exact words in the men's lounge. See, this is again, Chris ain't telling y'all the full story. Chris also said,
hey, she asked me a question
at the house too. He said, if I was getting the experience that Mario was getting, it'd be a different connection between me and her. Did you or did you not say that?
Yeah, that's not a bad thing to say.
Okay. So with this, was she really into you?
So my thing was, if you're telling us that you see a softer side, if she would have showed me that softer side, yes, it would have been different. That's all I asked for.
Okay.
So I'm not saying that, like the thing is, you will say something and then like, oh, gotcha. It's like saying, oh, Chris like milk with his cereal. See? Well, it doesn't make any sense. Like you will find something that's minute and try to make it like, oh, I got you.
No,
that didn't make sense.
Because I'm debunking every one of your lies.
So
by you saying,
it makes sense.
Let me ask you this, Christal. That's your husband, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, if I was to say, let me ask you this: do you believe your husband is combative?
No.
Would you marry or connect to somebody that you would believe is combative?
No.
Okay. So to Chris's point earlier, and what he's trying to say right now, where I'm getting him is inaccuracy with everything that he's saying. He stated that I stated that she is combative, right? Mm-hmm. Why would I connect with somebody that I believe is combative,
bro? So if somebody,
that's the question, guys. This is 1 + 1
was your question?
This ain't rocket science.
What was your question?
When you said that I stated that she was combative, why would I connect with somebody that I believe is combative?
Okay, well, let me ask you a question.
Okay.
If let's say me, if I'm in there and I'm saying Jessica has combative traits, and the whole choir shaking their head, doesn't that mean that they agree?
No, it doesn't. And that's because they did not do that.
No, this is a yes. This is a no.
No.
What are you talking about?
Chris, you're not gonna set me up, though. Nobody did that. Chris is the only person.
But do y'all brothers agree, like different people bring different results?
Yeah.
Right?
Yes, very true. Which
Okay.
is what I just said that I got a different experience from Justin than Chris got. And Chris noticed it himself. He said if I received what he got, I would have a different thing.
I remember that. Marie, what is your biggest issue with what Chris is saying? What is your biggest issue? Because you guys agree on.
I'd be lying. The difference is I was there. Notice everything I asked Chris, he can't give me no yes or no question because he knows it to be true. He knows it to be true. That's why he's smiling. He knows it to be true.
I'm a non-threatening guy. That's why I smile.
Okay. Yeah. Let that be.
So, but let me ask you this though.
Mm-hmm.
How's your connection with Aries? If you like Jessica so much, why are you constantly trying to connect with Aries till this day?
I feel like
because
you know what I'm saying. So stop faking it, bro. It is what it is.
So,
like,
so some proof, Chris.
This is the thing. You
Chris,
upset at me. Let me finish.
Let's don't talk about anything that we haven't seen.
You feel some type of way about me because the girl you want to likes me. This has happened. Think about it. Because if you seeing Jessica treat me like this, now you mad at me, like that's lame. Like I don't want her, bro. Like this is what was going on. Like you don't play me like that. Because I've seen snakes in the grass before because of enviness and jealousy, bro. Like it's not cool. And I'm telling you, I wash my hands, but you still want to play these little games and stuff and not keeping it real. Once I found out who my connection, I stuck with my connection. That's that. Okay. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm out your way, bro.
See, again, this is why we have to correct lies again. Aries was so much of Chris's connection. She was sitting in Phil's lap in front of him.
I like Phil's and I like Phil. That's my dog.
Everybody
connecting.
Everybody, wait.
Didn't have no connection with no Aries.
Okay, wait. Aries said, keep her out of this. Aries.
Yeah, because he know I'm gonna say it all.
We did.
Ain't no Mario still trying to connect with no Aries right now. Aries was dead. I said it on camera. Aries was more focused on other connections. Me and
you
Aries
said you did it
long time ago.
Did it her?
Okay.
Did her.
All right. So
got it on text message. I got all the proof.
Hey, that boy love them screenshots.
So do because we got individuals that lie that can't prove not one example. Chris, where your screenshots at? Where your examples?
Why would I?
All this information you got. What are your examples?
Screenshot conversation and send to people. What type of man goes to the gentleman's lounge, take it to the women? Who pillow talks like that? That ain't your wife.
You the one.
If you're married, you can pillow talk all day long.
You and Lee.
You
know what I'm saying?
And Lee.
Yeah, don't bring
to
Lee
every other woman.
Why are you bringing Lee to this with?
Because that's what you was going back talking to. You was going back talking to.
Okay.
You was going back talking to.
Either.
And see, and look, and I found that out to also be true.
Yeah, I ain't
got the text messages on them too.
What?
I got all
Mario, what you saying?
On what?
Got text messages.
On what? What you talking
on that you running back talking?
Now I'm running back and talking to Lee.
That you running back talking to multiple women in the group.
What am I saying? What am I saying, buddy?
Everything that was being said from calling what we were talking about. Kira calling her a dog. Comparing Kira to a dog.
Comparing Kira to a dog?
Yes.
Come on, bro.
And Christopher, so you didn't do that?
All I said, dang, a dog. Like I made a dog joke, but I wasn't comparing Kira to no dog. That don't even sound right.
All right.
And that's the thing.
I heard what he just came up and slipped up and said it too. You heard it. He's telling on himself.
It don't even sound right. Come on.
Okay. All right, Mario. I want this whole night. This has gone another way, but the whole night was because you were trying to give Chris an opportunity to respond to the fact that he
on a woman
when he was eliminated. Were you upset that you were eliminated? Was that part of why you were angry? Were you upset? How did you feel about the elimination that happened in that way?
Oh, so all of that stuff happened prior to getting the statement, the elimination statement. So yeah, all of that happened way before that. Her telling me that I wasn't ready to love was the very, very last thing. Okay. You know, they just put it up in front. Because that's what they'll do. They'll put it in different areas to paint the narrative. So I had no problem being eliminated. Even prior to, like, hey, I already got the numbers that I need, and the people I like, and I'm gonna talk to them. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't once you find somebody that you're interested in, you don't need to show no more.
Yeah.
At all. Because where are you there to gain when you already know? Like, look on our social media. Look who's communicating now, who's hanging out, who's taking trips, who's doing all the other stuff. That's real life. Like those three women, like I love them. They're good individuals. You know, and what gets me when they talk about as far as controlling or whatever, or women can't do this, they're all CEOs. They're all intelligent. They're all bosses. They're all strong Black women that I appreciate. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And that's why they show me so much love. Yeah, in a good way. In a good way.
So that's what we're talking about, baby, is the fact that a lot of times being a strong Black woman, being someone that's very ambitious in your career can be a turnoff. And so a lot of people watching yesterday were like, Jessica comes across very professional. Maybe it's just he can't handle a strong woman. Mm-hmm. So Commissioner says it's still on interview. And so we just want to make sure that we're clarifying that there's a difference between being a career woman and being someone that a man is feeling is being combative.
I was listening to Mo earlier, and he was
bring the bottle of water.
Turn off and turn on.
Bottle of water, please.
You know what I'm saying? So one thing, like a lot of men, I'm just saying, just in my generation, my age group, a lot of men don't like all that. You know what I'm saying? Like, all that being, like you were saying, like being a defense attorney or whatever. You're a defense attorney at work, but you should be a woman at the house. You know what I'm saying? There's a difference. There's a big difference. Because like the old saying, "Go, lady in the street."
We're not even talking about.
But I'm not talking about that. What I'm saying is, you got to know when to turn off and when you turn off. That's basically what I'm saying.
Right.
Yeah. So you understand. Yeah. So Chris was explaining that the energy that he got from Jessica was he felt like there were some combative times. He didn't necessarily call her combative, but he did feel like there was some combative times. Marie says he didn't have that experience. I feel like what we were talking about earlier tonight, if you guys were watching, I had Nate on. Jesus God, please go back and watch Nate with love. Because he was saying that different men bring different things out of different women. And I know for myself, you make me feel safe to where I feel secure. Now, you may still feel like I'm a defense attorney sometimes. But that's not necessary.
No, it's just the dating scene as a whole has changed since social media has came into effect. Just like I tell you all the time, I tell my daughters, all that stuff on social media is fake. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? It's all fake. It's all about everybody's putting up what the glam and this and that or whatever. You can be a boss. You can be a boss all day long. But when you with your man and when you're in a relationship or whatever, you gotta be able to turn that feminine side on. And just like I told you before, just like we talked about before, there's a difference in being submissive. When a woman is submissive, all you think about, you got barefoot and pregnant cooking a dinner or whatever. Yeah, I'm submissive to you sometimes. You know what I'm saying? So I think nowadays the whole dating aspect of it all is that everybody wants to be a boss. Everybody wants to be in charge. But everybody has to know their role.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like most married couples or whatever. We talked about this. Men take care of the outside, cutting grass and taking care of the outside needs or whatever. And a woman, what I'm saying, takes care of the inside of the house, cleaning, cooking, certain things of that. I'm not saying that I want you to cook every day.
Yes, he is. Anyway, I don't want to let that take over the interview. Because you routine.
No, let's get to it. Let's get to it.
But let me ask you this. Let me ask Chris. Do you feel like the women that you had connections with, which we know we saw Lee, we know that you're cool with Aries, and then who was the other connection?
I was connected to Lee, Aries, and Kat.
And Kat, right.
Yeah.
Do you feel like you got that type of, they were able to be bosses and you still got feminine energy from them?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And it's like when they was talking about, when I said as far as equality, right? And Aries clarified another deal. I was saying it more of in a physical manner. Like if a man come in this house, and Maria can remember I said this, come in with an AR, it's up to us men to defend them and stand in front of that bullet or disarm the guy, regardless of how we feel about each other. I said women can have children. Women can do things that men can't do. I always say numerous of times, God is a black woman in my mind, in my eyes, right? So them being, I'm not saying that women can't do anything. The company I partner with is the CEO is a woman. You see what I'm saying? So when I said as far as the emotional aspect, men make quicker decisions, most of the time. Women typically make the best decisions, but sometimes, because you guys analyze so much, so it's not saying
that's deep. That's
deep. So that's what I was trying to clarify. And then also That's how I feel, Mo. That's how I feel, Mo. Give me that. Give me that. So
no. I feel you to a certain aspect. I just think, I mean, it's more emotion. Like they say, women lead with emotion a lot of times, and men more logical.
Yeah.
I'll say that. I don't know if they make better decisions. But
I would say in a grand scheme of things, let me tell you, Mo, in a grand scheme of things, the way the women, that's why their intuition is stronger than ours. You know what I'm saying? And again, if someone disagrees, that's fair. You know, we're here to agree and disagree and talk about it. I'm just telling you guys how I feel about certain things, right? And so, and as a man, like in my country, we do things different. That's why I say women in my household don't touch the trash that's beneath them. I don't feel that relationships are always going to be 50-50. I feel sometimes 120, 80-20, 100-100. It's all these different scenarios. There are certain things that we can cross on. Like, for example, like your husband was saying, for as you cooking, not saying that he won't never cook, you know, because you got to communicate, what do you need me to do more and what do you need me to do less or like that. I think people are getting it confused. And when you see an African man, you think, oh, controlling this and that. No, I have my strong cultural and family beliefs and tradition, but I'm still non-traditional in some of my ways of being in Africa. But I'm still an African in America.
That's fair, because Chris, a lot of the social media conversation on you has been, well, he's going to be controlling because he's Nigerian and that's culture. What is your response to that?
If you look at those three women, they be controlling me sometimes. I can't control them. I don't even want to control them. Control is not love at all. That's not love. So when people say that, like, no, a weak man wants to control someone. Someone talked about finances. I'm not going to use my finances to control a woman. If a woman, I don't even, and that's what I said as far as work. I don't care if my woman's a CEO or she weaving baskets, as long as she's passionate. And then, and in turn with that, if you want me to invest in your business, so you won't have to depend solely on me in case something happens to me, I'll do that. And that ain't got nothing to do with me. So that's where people misuse power and they misuse the submission aspect. I love what your husband said when he said that, because I subscribe to that. You know, it's a collective, it's a back and forth. We sometimes gravitate to that. I think, Christal, we talked about it in the very first interview or whatever, but that's what it's about. Yeah. You know, and that's why when we talk about me being assertive, that's why I said bring Maurier here, because I'm gonna talk to him as a man. Yeah. A woman, I'm not gonna talk to that woman like that at all. But not.
Except for in that situation with Jessica. Maurier, let me ask you, so did you hear what we're talking about? Chris is saying that he did get boss energy that was still soft from the other ladies. Did you get that from Jessica? You say your experience has been different, even though you said initially that there was not PDA, but you did feel comfortable and you feel like Jessica felt safe with you. She did say that she really was attracted to Maurier because of his intellect, and she's a sapiosexual, which I can relate to. So I feel like she did explain how you guys' connection was, and I think that's what we didn't get a chance to see that. So that's why it's a great thing for you guys to come on. So you had a different experience with Jessica than Chris, correct?
Correct. So ask me the question one more time. I was a little distracted by my son. Go ahead. Ask me that one more time.
I'm just asking about, because he said that he was able to get women. These women were bosses and very professional, very much into their career, but they were also still able to give him the nurturing and soft side. Did you get to a point with Jessica where you did get to a soft side and you felt like you guys were truly connecting?
Oh yeah. And again, they didn't show like them. For example, at the house, at the cast trip, once I cooked pretty much most of the food that was there during the barbecue or whatever.
And you're a great cook, Maurier. I love your food, especially those wings. That was amazing.
Appreciate it. I know he's for real. I know he's not playing.
Yeah, I'm not BS. You try to.
I'm gonna give you your credit. He is being for real. He is being for real right now. Anytime when a chef cooks, we sit down, kind of let everybody else. And I was about to get up and fix my plate. Jessica's like, "Nah, I got you," because I was outside messing when we were cooking. And I was like, "So what you gonna bring? Like, what you gonna cook?" I'm already knowing Jessica don't cook, right? That's me just being funny, making jokes. She was like, "Well, I'll make your plate. I'll do that." I was like, "All right, well, we'll see." So that's how that scene ended up happening. She made the plate. What they don't show on camera, when we were after the combative word, after the thing, you know, all big blow up inside of the kitchen after I cooked the wings, I basically have a whole breakdown of like, hey, that was not my experience with you. I don't believe that you're combative. I want to apologize. I feel like I messed up in front of everybody. I gotta also apologize in front of everybody. You know, that's just how it goes. You know what I'm saying? You just have to do that whole entire thing. So, you know, again, because my whole thing.
Did she respond to that? Because it seemed like after that happened, you and Jessica kind of like parted ways.
No, she responded to it twice. She was like, I accept your apology. And I was like, hey, well, can we go? When y'all hear me say, well, can we go and talk? That was after I'd already did the apology.
Okay.
I was basically like, hey, now let us go have a sidebar. You know, me and you can really just talk about really your feelings. That was really the what the conversation. It's chopped up as if she's just fully upset with me. Because in that same conversation, she says, I know you didn't say it. I'm upset with you, the fact that you stood on the sword. Because for me, when she asked me, she texted me, and my other men was like, and Tommy included, because you're going to probably see it coming up here shortly, where they're like, well, who did say it? I said, you know what? I'm going to keep it playing. And I said this to Chris, too. This was really the tension with me and Chris, because for me, I felt like I showed Chris the utmost respect at the whole time. Because when I knew who said it the whole time, and I never said nothing, because I'm thinking out of everybody here, hold on, Chris, hold on.
Yeah, you're right.
I said out of everybody here, as far as degrees of separation, me and Chris probably the closest connected because of alignment of people we know, right?
Yeah,
Leave it like that. We are probably the closest connected out of the entire class.
Everybody,
So I was like, you know what? I'm not no snitch. I ain't finna be, doing this. Hence, y'all don't see me say nobody's name. I get up, I leave. When Chris came up to the room, I said, Chris, you know what? Don't worry about it, bro. I said it. It's my bad. I take it on me. At all time. When I see Chris in turn, because again, we talking about partner to partner in any other space. If this is my partner's connection, I'm not gonna disrespect my partner's connection because that's my partner. Just on DP of him. I'm gonna give him the same respect.
You talking about what we at the reunion when you said about
hold on, let's don't talk about the reunion. We gotta wait till that. We gotta wait for that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's my bad. That's my bad, y'all.
That's okay.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like. Like, I mean, and not to really talk too much about it. The only part about that was when I apologized, and then Mariette kept talking about why I shouldn't have done that, and I was like, bro, I already apologized. So I felt that he was kind of dragging that along after I've already concluded with a sincere apology or whatever. So that part.
Did you, Chris, when Jessica mentioned that you tried to leave several times in that scene, did you try to leave? And did you end up, why were you so emotional? You were emotional because you were angry? Were you emotional because you were hurt that you would let it get to that point? What made you so emotional, and why did you try to leave?
It was a combination of both of those things. The first time I wanted to leave because I just didn't want to beat her. I already knew the energy and that. And so I didn't care what Tommy said. And that's even when I told the production, I don't want to do this anymore because I feel that y'all are disrespecting me by not listening to my requests. You constantly put me on dates with this woman, and I told you that we are not a connection. Like, let me be at peace. Even it was one time I was on elimination, and Aries was the person that said, we had so much fun. She's like, Chris, you're not supposed to be having as much fun. You up on a chopping block. But it didn't matter because I was in front of her. When I had a date with Lee, I didn't know if that was going to be elimination, but it didn't matter because I was in front of her. It's the person. So that's my thing. Don't put me in around energies that I don't desire, because we're all empaths to a certain degree where we feel it and we're like, nah, I'm good. That spirit is not for me. You see what I'm saying? So
on the show, there's no way to get away from that, right?
That's why I wanted to leave. Yeah, because at that point it's getting redundant. You're not respecting her because I know she didn't want to go on any more dates. I'm assuming, and you're not respecting me. So now you're not respecting me or Jessica.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So that's where it's like, all right, enough is enough. Like I'm good on this. I know who in the cast that I'm gonna connect with, and that's just that. I don't need this show anymore. Well, you need to at least listen to what Tommy had to say. I said, okay, cool. She delivered, and I just, all right, cool, and walked out.
If you could do that night over again, how would you handle that? If you could do it over again, knowing, what you know now, if you could go back and say, let me just handle this better, because when Mo and I watched it, he was just like, yeah, but a man is not supposed to ever. And I know it's unfair that we say women are allowed to be emotional, but men are not. But what do you think you could have done differently that would have caused the outcome not to be as volatile?
I wouldn't have hit him up. I wouldn't have did that. I wouldn't have had a Pac moment, Yeah. So that's my only thing.
Yeah.
First off, I wouldn't have did that. Yeah.
Marie, is there anything that you would have done differently with the way you treated anybody over the season that we've seen so far?
I definitely would have. I mean, as we can see, I'd have definitely been more mindful with my words as well.
Me too.
Thinking every word through. I think also too, just kind of playing it back. I think I probably would have shown a lot more personality, kind of been myself a lot more. Felt like I was doing very clean because I'm thinking it's the Oprah Network. What is this, a Christian station? I don't know. Can't we cuss? Like, you know what I'm saying? So because I wasn't like, walking around talking about sex and walking around talking about, cussing and doing all of that. So I think I would have like just really enjoyed and had like a lot more fun versus to where, because sometimes I think probably everybody can say this, it started to feel like work almost.
Yeah.
Because you on 2 or 3 different dates a day. You got an interview the next day. You got people asking you questions. So it's like, it's removing us away from like actually building and connecting. Because to be honest, we get home, we tired. We've been talking about love all day. I don't want to get home and get on the phone and talk about love again, So I think I just would have had more fun.
Yeah. And then I would say for me, I should have listened to, myself and ended things a lot quicker and been more stern with those things, right? Because I wish we all were friends, to be honest. I wish we all can really do stuff together. But the odds of that happening is slim to none. You know what I'm saying? So that part, and if somebody's like, would I do it again? Yes, because of the genuine connections and the friendship that I built.
Hey,
Chris, the other stuff.
Hey, Chris, I got a question for you, man.
Yes, sir.
So why did you cuss Jessica out?
You said, why did I cuss her out?
Yeah.
Well, that was the best words that came to my mind at that moment because I was like pissed off. It was overwhelming, and it was a wrong judge of words, and I shouldn't have said it, but that's how I truly felt. I felt that in my heart, in my soul. But I wish I wouldn't have said those words because she don't deserve that, regardless.
Yeah.
Do you think
Chris, let me ask you a question, Chris. What exactly was it that you're so upset about with Jessica? Outside, let's try the idea of being eliminated.
Who was that?
Yeah.
We already said that. I mean, I don't hate the woman. It was just the energy, all the stuff that was going on. Even like I talked about the just like the journey too, and all of those things that it was like, I don't even want to keep talking about this woman because I've moved past it. You know what I'm saying? So with one thing about my mind, if it's something that doesn't align with me or negative, I have an auto delete. You see what I'm saying? So I'm trying my best to try to retrieve those deleted thoughts about her because I don't feel like that about her anymore.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So that's a difficult question for me to answer because I've already forgiven her and I've forgiven myself.
Well, that's
basically doing the deliberation, it was just simply, it was her words, or you felt like she set you up. Like I'm saying, what was the anger? What caused you for the emotion? What exactly? If you could pinpoint something, what exactly was it that triggered you?
Man, Chris, ain't this your show?
Well, no, but we did all ask.
Hasn't answered it.
So as far as, again, like I told you, as far as triggering the whole, I just said this whole monologue, and you just want to ask the same question again.
We don't.
Because I don't think we got an actual answer. If somebody can type it in the chat, what the actual reason?
Ask Dave.
Hey. Okay. So Tequila just sent me a screenshot. And I'm gonna read the screenshot. This is between her and Marie. Mm-hmm. So and actually, Tequila, I don't understand. So we'll have to talk about this later. But this is Marie to Tequila. He says, "Good morning, beautiful. Hope all is well." And then she says, "Hello. Respectfully, continue the process with the connections you have put effort into communicating with. I wish you well through this journey." And then Marie says, "Huh? I'm a little confused. Is everything okay?" And then she says, "You called and had a great conversation with a few of the ladies every day. Exactly. You've had my number since Saturday and have yet to use it. So I want you to continue with who you are really connected to. Yes, I'm good. Thank you for asking, love. And then Maria says, I have talked to everyone, including you, and I have also told you and everyone else that I thought my strongest connection was with you, but I will respect your wishes. That does kind of.
That's literally what I just said, right?
Clear. That does confirm what he said.
I mean, I don't know what to say.
I don't know, Tequila. I don't know.
That's literally what I just said.
That is what he said that you said, babe. Let me ask you a question. If you said, well, first of all, I hate when people say good morning. I don't like good morning.
Yeah, when I heard the good morning beautiful, that's when I started laughing.
That's why he knows I hate that. But if you text me and said good morning beautiful, and I say continue to process with the connections you have put effort into, if you're already to love, I wish you well throughout this journey, what would you have said?
Cool.
Cool. 1 + 1, y'all, equals 2. We're not asking for the dimensions of the moon. We just asking for. We just asking.
I mean, because of the fact of it is,
you give up that easy.
Lord,
right then
do it for you.
You're not even interested in me.
That's not what it said.
Yeah, that's what
she
it
felt
said.
like. She felt like he was more interested in other people.
Listen, hey, go back to that.
How would she know that?
Listen. Go back to the. No, I told her that. I told her that. I said in the actual lounge. I said, y'all, Tequila was my top connection. I said it.
Yeah.
I say it in the lounge, y'all.
Don't say it in the text.
But the thing is though, that's the same thing, Christal. Like nothing is wrong with that, but that's the same thing with the whole Jessica thing. She said I wasn't communicating. Then Lee and Ari said they talk to me every single day. It's the same thing with that. Like Moria chose not to show her interest. I chose not to show Jessica interest. It's okay. You see what I'm saying? So and both felt kind of rejected because of that. Even though they're saying like, oh, let's move on. They both probably felt like that. And I love Tequila, but that's probably how she felt. You know, and that's how Jessica felt. That I rejected her because I wasn't giving her the attention I'm giving to other girls.
Right. And I mean, on the show, first of all, the girls shouldn't have been, there's no way to make this right. Mm-hmm. There's no way to make it right because what you said, when you're jealous, if you're going to be on Ready to Love, just people that are going on,
there you go,
future shows, you really can't worry about what's happening with the other people. Mm-hmm. That's the first part.
Yeah.
You should only worry about what you're doing. You have to do that with dating. When we started dating, I knew he was dating a lot of other people, but I just focused on me and him. And I feel like he sent his pit bull to my house to keep dating other people. But the point is,
Mo,
you can't.
Mo, you hear that?
Her flyness said this interview is all over the place. It is, but you know what? This has been a fun night. Chris, thank you. Maria, I appreciate you jumping on. Y'all, I mean, at the end of the day, we are all Black people trying to figure out this love thing. And I appreciate Chris taking ownership and saying that he was wrong. Really, at the end of the day, once you say you're wrong for doing something, there shouldn't be a but. It doesn't need anything else, but I was wrong and I'm sorry.
Yeah.
And that's it. Really quickly before we leave, Mo, the ladies have asked for an update on your ice cream date. Mo went on an ice cream date.
What? Mo, hit me up. Let me know.
What was the end result? I gave Mo the idea to go get ice cream. Sean said, "What is going on? We're all over the place tonight. This is a different type of Christal interview. We usually don't do this. He doesn't usually come in and hang out with me. Maria jumped on. Mario, you got to come back and talk about your.
I'll be back.
Hey, Maria, we still friends? You still cool with me?
We're gonna have to have a side talk as well.
Y'all have a man-to-man talk.
We'll have a man-to-man talk.
I like that.
Tequila said, "What did you say, baby? You screenshot our conversation in the men's group and told them to vote me out."
No, it didn't.
I gotta go, man.
You gotta go.
I said in the lounge. I said in the lounge though.
Okay, Mo, how was the ice cream date? We trying to get out of here. How was the ice cream date?
It was all right.
It was all right. Oh, that says it.
Like,
that's lame. All right, y'all. I'll be back.
Mo, I got you, Mo. I got you, Mo. Hey, hit me up, bro. Hit me up.
Yo, Silver Shadow has been asking questions all night. Silver Shadow Moe is one of my best friends. I asked him to come in and talk. I've been on live for 2 hours, so my husband started looking in like, what's happening? Because it's time for me to go hang out with him. So tomorrow I'll be on recapping. Well, not tomorrow, Friday. I'll be on with the recap. And then on Monday, we have Herbert. Herbert will be on Monday.
My dog.
And yes, Herbert will be on Monday. And then on Wednesday, next Wednesday, we have Red. I can't wait to talk to Red. I can't wait to talk to Red. So, and then Marie, we'll have to have you on maybe next Friday.
Yes, ma'am. Most definitely.
I'm gonna hit you up. Chris, any last words that you want to say to the people out there? Not April saying who is Herbert. Ma'am, have you been watching? Have you been watching Ready to Love? Last words, everybody. I'm gonna start with Chris, then Marie, then Mo.
Man, I just hope everybody that watched this took something from it. You know what I'm saying? It's how you can have a situation and come to a resolution. I feel that we all need to understand, get to know the individual before we prejudge them. I feel like as a man, you have to be direct, but you have to know when to be direct. You know what I'm saying? I feel that more communications like this need to be had in a peaceful environment. I feel you don't need to provoke individuals. I feel no one deserves that as well. You know, so it's all level of understanding. And that's just pretty much it in a nutshell. You know, shout out to Keep It a Buck, you know, my best friend. Y'all go support him as well. That's _ Keep It a Buck.
Okay. All right, Marie, last words before we have you back on.
I just think that we got to be mindful of any type of tag that we wrongfully put on people. That goes for if there's been any wrongful tags ever put on Chris, that goes for Jessica, that goes for Janelle, that goes for me, that goes from whomever. I just think we have to do better as Black people, even if we have disagreements or we have issues. I believe in that we deal with issues amongst family members. Yeah. If it's a real personal issue and you know that this could also taint somebody's image, pull them to a side, have a one-on-one. But publicly, let's not talk about other Black people, especially in company of other white folks and Europeans, having us looking crazy. Whether it's calling us out our names or putting a word or putting something like combative on a person when you know that there's no proof or you have nothing to say, an actual situation that this person warrants the term combative. Do I not like this person? Is a connection out here? That's one thing. But to say that this person is X, Y, and Z, there's something that is derogatory, that's a whole nother thing.
Right. No, I just saw Red was in the comments. I don't know if somebody said something about him being mad. I said, I'm looking forward to talking to you because we wanted to have you on earlier. So I'm excited to have you on next Wednesday. So I'm not sure if you were responding to something else, but I'm super excited about that. I agree with what Marie said. I think when we look at this show, it is a reflection of the dating world, but we also realize it's on television. And I don't know if you guys realize how big this show is, but this show is seen across the United States and outside of the country. So we really are given an example. And of course, Oprah Winfrey being the head of the network or the figurehead of the network means that people put a lot of credibility into what this looks like. This is what Black people are being judged by in other places. So I agree with what you're saying. We have to be very careful. But I also feel like we have to hold each other accountable. And I don't think any of us are above accountability. So I appreciate the apology from Chris. I appreciate your commitment to your culture and community. I would just say that we have to give everybody a little bit of grace. So I feel like I appreciate the fact that you've given Janelle grace, and because she also has a story, and she has a right to share her story as well. But I also feel like we have to give the same grace to a person like Kira that may have had a different experience and not be so judgmental to that. And Jessica, everybody's experience is different. Mo, any last words from you just on being out in this dating streets and seeing how all this is playing out on TV, knowing that a lot of it is the same way in real life?
Oh, man. Well, first I want to say to these two brothers, man, I want y'all to have a drink, go somewhere, man, chop it up, leave it alone, man. Because at the end of the day, it ain't about nothing, man. It really ain't.
I don't have no beef with him.
As far as the dating situation, I'm out here in Atlanta, so it's a whole nother thing. I don't even want to get into that right now. I'm tired. But Christal, thank you for having me on your platform. And I'm good, man.
Yeah. We'll have to.
And Chris, no more flip flops, man. No, doing that.
Mo, how I know you was gonna say that, man?
I can't get past that part. Other than that, we Gucci.
No, she liked them. Lee liked them. They were Versace. I think she thought they were cute. And they were
I don't care what they were. Too soon.
Too soon.
Oh, he's saying that it was too soon.
It was
but Lee was clear that she likes a man that's gonna level up and show her how he wants to pursue her. That's what he was doing.
Of course she is. That's what she's supposed to say.
That's also another quick. My bad, Mo. I didn't mean to cut you off. That's also
no. You good? You good, bro?
I want to apologize real quick about throwing out anybody's name that one randomly had nothing to do with me and Chris going back and forth. I want to apologize for wrongfully throwing out anybody's name that I wasn't supposed to say. So that's
all
bad.
good. It's all. I think that I think that I will say. I did not say that Jessica was combative. I just, we were having a funny conversation, but I appreciate Jessica's conversation yesterday. I respect the fact that she didn't want to go blow by blow into it. And I really do appreciate the fact that she came on. I appreciate everybody that comes on. I appreciate Marie jumping on tonight. Chris, you coming back again and doing this. I really do appreciate every single person that takes the time to share their story here. It means a lot to me. And I really want all of you guys to find love and find whatever that it is that you're looking for. And of course, I love all of you that make this channel possible. You guys, the chat is amazing. You guys have been amazing tonight. It was 1,300 people in the chat. And I appreciate, the time that you guys spent hanging out with us to go through all this. We will be back on Friday. I actually have a conversation with the Cutlers. The Cutlers, the married couple that does couples court, they are on tomorrow night at 8:00. So tune in for that interview. And they actually gave they've been married over 30 years. So that's some great gems. I hope you guys will tune in for that. I know we like tuning in for the mess and the gossip, but please tune in for the real stuff. If you're looking to have a relationship like that, I'm 3 years in, but I'm actually 2.5 years married, trying to get to where they are. So I really want to bring conversations like that. Chris, you always have an open invitation to come back. Marie, definitely looking forward to having you. And Kyle, you definitely will have to come back and we'll have to recap the shows. That may be better for us to recap the shows. Love you guys all. Have a great night.
All right. Be safe. Peace.